I think Mario's being a bit optimistic there. I met Mario yesterday as well. I said, Mario, last year you said it was going to be your last game, and he said, definitely. I said, what about this year? He said, hey, I'm not saying anything anymore. Do you remember that?
Well, I remember that. He also said in week 6 that I'm going to rent Rheinstadion for the World Bowl, and here they are here. And how he's got the stadium, what's he going to do with it?
Well, it really is his stadium, isn't it? I mean, it's 199 career catches for him. And the guy, I think he is going to go out, and he would love to go out and win. And you look at this Frankfurt offense, and it makes no sense. This two-headed quarterback that they use Pat Barnes, they use Jake Delhomme. When you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks, is the perceived logic. But for this team, it works.
Well, you know, it works because I think both quarterbacks want to make it work. They both want to come over here and get reps, see some live action, be able to go back to their respective teams of the Raiders and the Saints, and they want to show something for it. And I think both guys were committed to it. I think they put pressure on themselves at times this year to make big plays when they got the opportunity. But overall, I think it's benefited both players and the quarterbacks.
Well, as you see, the team captains coming out for the coin toss. Ralph Kleinman there, number 9 with Frankfurt. You see him. We were down on the field for pre-game warm-ups, and Kleinman was getting booed every time he kicked the ball.
Well, I tell you, Ralph Kleinman has been a pressure kicker his entire career with the Galaxy until last week, when an opportunity to win the game in the final minutes twice. He missed both. I talked to him before the game, Nick, and he said, you know what? Last week didn't exist. He's just crossed it out of his mind. He had a nice week of practice. He said his form is back. He doesn't know what happened last week. But he said, when it's all on the line this year, and this week, I'll get it done.
Well, you see the coin toss there. Looks like Frankfurt have won it. And there's the confirmation from our referee, Peter Morelli.
Yeah, you're talking about Mario Bailey, and, you know, the fact that this is his 5th year, it's his 4th World Bowl, and I think he's the catalyst to the entire Frankfurt Galaxy team.
Mario was saying as well that he didn't think this team this year, and I think Mike has already alluded to this, didn't have as much talent as last year's team, but they're a very loose group and they're a very together group, as we see Jack Bicknell there. Well, that's not Jack, we just moved off Jack, but Jack would like to be the Rocket Man.
Well, the Rocket Man, I don't know how loose he is. How loose would you be, Nick, if you had a jetpack on your back, you had 35, 40,000 people in the stands, and you had to enter the stadium this way?
I mean, this is different. This is like Brian Baldinger entering a nightclub.
You know, I tell you what, for all these players, what this guy is doing right now is how they really feel in that locker room. They feel like they're ready to blast off. You know, they feel like they've got a lift-off pack in their back, and they want to go take it to the limits, because for these guys, for all 100 players here tonight, Nick, this may be the last time they ever get a chance for a championship.
Even Jack was impressed.
Yeah.
Jack will sign him up before this thing's finished.
And you know Jack, you know how stiff he is before a game. For him to loosen up like that is really something else. And Jack McNeil trying to become the first coach to win 2 World Bowl games. Of course, did it just 2 years ago down in Barcelona.
Okay, let's put ourselves on the spot here, Brian. I've got a slight feeling for the Barcelona Dragons today, and you know, very often you come into a World Bowl and there is a clear favourite. I don't think there is today. My leaning slightly is towards Barcelona if Lawrence Phillips is 100%.
Well, the crowd is behind the Dragons here because it's sort of like a hate Frankfurt atmosphere around here. A lot of Rhein Fire fans here to cheer against the Galaxy. I told the Dragons tonight that this is the best home field advantage they've had all season. Now, they always say there's an axiom also in sports, Nick, that you can't beat a team 3 times. It's very difficult. And of course, the Dragons were able to beat Dick Curl.
Yeah, he's never beaten his old mentor, Jack McNeil, in 4 attempts. Never done it.
Yeah, 3 of those games were nail-biters. They came down to the wire. And for Dick Curl and the Galaxy this year, all of his games were nail-biters. Every single game, except for 1, came down to a touchdown or less difference. So at one point in the season, Dick said, you know, we could be 0-7 or 7-0. They found their way about halfway in between. They were 4-3 at the time. Of course, the Rhein Fire is the team left out of the mix because of the Dragon victory last week, and I thought maybe they were the best team in the league at the end of the season.
Well, Mike said that the right 2 teams are here, and Mike's absolutely right, because when you finish number 1 and number 2, you deserve to go to the championship. But I tell you what, if the Fire had got here, I think there's no doubt that certainly by the finish, they were the strongest team in the league, and they would have been red-hot favourites for this one. So these fans, instead of cheering for their team, I think they're going to be the spoilers today, aren't they? They'll be shouting for Barcelona all the way.
Yeah, but you know, they're great fans. And they're great fans here in Germany, Nick, and they've really supported the game. And this type of atmosphere and this type of crowd is what you see every game in Dusseldorf and in Frankfurt. and it's an atmosphere that can't be recreated.
Well, we're almost ready for the kickoff. Jesus Angoy will handle kickoff duties. Sean Scales and Andy McCullough are the deep men. Scales is normally the man who will handle it. He's averaging 21.3 yards per return. And a few traveling Dragons fans as well.
Yeah, and you know, you start becoming a Dragon fan early in life, and then you eventually become a fan that brings all kinds of gimmicks to them. You know, here in Germany, you'll see the #1, you know, palm right there, that insignia. You'll see the flags. You'll see the faces painted up. You know, it's complete gallantry here in Germany.
We've even got the Amsterdam Admirals mascot in, and the Galaxy mascot.
Nick, you were ever a mascot growing up?
Was I ever a mascot?
Yeah.
I'm your mascot, Brian.
Huh? Did you ever wear one of those uniforms to get into a stadium?
No, we got Shuggy in the background there. Very much a carnival atmosphere, which is great for all these fans. But I don't think any of these players are thinking in terms of party and fun at the moment. There were a few game faces out there during warm-ups the last couple of hours.
Well, what you learn to become when you become a professional is you learn how to block out the crowd and block out the noise and concentrate on what your job is. And if you don't, then you generally don't have a very good evening.
Live in Deutschland, der World Bowl 99. Als Kicker steht bereit für die Barcelona Dragons die Nummer 14, Jesus Angoy.
Yeah, there's the announcement that Jesus Angoy is about to kick off as we see Jack Bicknell's record. His third World Bowl, a loser in 1991, of course, a winner with John Kittner in 97. Dick Curl was with him on his staff then as offensive coordinator. 2 years in a row he's been Galaxy's head coach. 2 years in a row he's been coach of the year as well for this league.
Well, Dick Curl does a great job. He was with Jack in college and with the Barcelona Dragons for 20 years. Left 2 years ago and took his team to the World Bowl last year, along with this year. A great disciple of Jack, likes to put the ball up in the air, and again, a perfect night for football here in Dusseldorf.
A little bit sticky, and the temperature has dropped a bit as the early evening starts to come in here in Dusseldorf. It was very hot this afternoon.
Yeah, but you get that early sweat going, and that's, as a football player, as an athlete, you want to get that sweat and then maintain the sweat. It keeps you loose, and it keeps you feeling good out there throughout the rest of the night.
There are the return men. Scales to the left, McCullough to the right. And World Bowl 99 is underway. A deep kick fielded inside his own end zone by Scales. And Scales looks to cut inside and finds a crease all the way down to the 26-yard line, where he's tackled by Dante De Paula. So which of the two quarterbacks is going to come out for the Frankfurt Galaxy? It looks like Jake Delhomme is going to get the call. The man allocated from the New Orleans Saints, but as I say, he will share time with Pat Barnes.
Well, I love the way Jake Delhomme has played. If you looked at his stats throughout the season, Nick, he's been a 67% completion passer all year long. The second highest rated quarterback in this league. And he usually starts. Pat Barnes comes in the second and fourth quarter. Jake will play the first and third.
They're at their own 26-yard line. And play action from the start. And they find a wide open Jermaine Chaney, who's got running room to midfield. He's pushed out of bounds by Tristan Moss, but a big play to open up World Bowl 99. And Jermaine Chaney wide open. The Dragon defense bought that one, hook, line, and sinker.
Well, Jake Delhomme got a good play-action fake to start with. He ran a play like it was a regular bootleg, but instead of going to the front side, he stayed to the backside on the play, Nick. And I thought it was a great call. Delhomme is an accurate quarterback, found his running back to get things started. 24
yards to midfield. First down, Frankfurt. This time they do go on the ground, and all kinds of collisions going on after a short gain. This time for Jermaine Chaney. Mike Maslowski coming in from middle linebacker and making the stop. The offensive line has leaked 35 sacks this year. That is the most in the league.
Well, for this particular group, this wide receivers here, you see Mario Bailey, Andy McCullough, Ron Lashinsky from the New Orleans Saints, and Todd Floyd. Very good receiving core, and Jermaine Chaney, the tailback.
Bailey's wide right, bottom of the screen. McCullough wide left. And they do the end around to Todd Floyd, and it's big trouble for the Frankfurt Galaxy. It was read all the way by Kendrick Burton.
Well, Kendrick Burton was the first pick for the Barcelona Dragons in the NFL Europe draft this year. Everybody's looking for a defensive end that can get to the quarterback. Here he is at the bottom of the screen. He's going to be going up against Curtis McGee. He never buys the fake. The Todd Floyd had to get, you've got to be able to beat that defensive end. You're wide receiver with the ball. You have to get back to the line of scrimmage. You can't put your team in a 3rd and long situation like this.
11-yard loss.
Over.
3rd down and 21 for Frankfurt. Delhomme with time. Looks for Mario Bailey. And it's incomplete. Jason Suttle was the only man there. Bailey gave up on that one a long time ago. So after the big play to Jermaine Chaney, the Frankfurt offense fizzling out a little bit. And Delhomme heads to the sidelines.
Well, Jason Suttle was a pickup halfway through the season from the Denver Broncos. He's allocated by the Broncos. He came in and filled in when an injury to Torrey Noel occurred, and he's played well at that corner position.
So that's a surprise. Kaipo Maguire is the return man. It's been Marco Martos for much of the season. Alonzo Johnson's been there again, and Cantrell gets the kick off, and it's a wobbly kick that Maguire fair catches at the 31-yard line.
Well, Kaipo Maguire was with the Indianapolis Colts and was active the last 2 weeks of the season as their punt returner.
Todd Baumann from the Minnesota Vikings checks in. Had a terrific 5 or 6 weeks to start off with, then just tailed off a little bit as the Barcelona Dragons offense just tailed off as well.
Well, I think you're right, Nick. I think he did fizzle a little bit at the end of the season. I think a lot of it, though, was a bad job by his offensive line. But Todd is a competitor, and he can make big plays.
And they go with 4 wide receivers on 1st down. Finneran is the motion man. Finneran can be so dangerous. So too can Lawrence Phillips. Lawrence Phillips bounces away from tacklers. Then is downed after a pickup of 4. But he was stopped at the line of scrimmage and then eventually stopped by Clarence Love. He just bounced away from the first tackler. There's that offensive line you were talking about. Much maligned coming out of training camp, but they have held together.
Well, they're the only offensive line that has started every single week together. And they open it up for a very good offensive, talented team. Finneran and Maguire, Martos, and, of course, Lawrence Phillips in the backfield.
Finneran is the motion man. On 2nd down and 6, Baumann will throw, finds Phillips. And Phillips dances outside, looks for room, will pick up the 1st down before he's eventually knocked out of bounds. Dorian Brew will be credited with the tackle, but it's 1st down for the Barcelona Dragons.
Well, any way you can get the ball to Lawrence Phillips is a good offense. So all they're going to do is just run a simple screen, a middle screen to Lawrence Phillips, and now let him use his assets. Let him use his weapons, which is his vision and his strength. Now, he's hobbled by a bad right ankle.
And he's stayed out.
What you got?
It was bothering him last week. He came out in the second half, only had a -7 yards the second half last week. It's a trouble area.
Mario Greer, the fullback, is alone in the backfield. Play action. Baumann throws. Can't find Greer, and it's bounced around and picked off, is it? No, it's ruled incomplete. Dorian Brew wanted the interception, but the officials are saying no way. But that ball was bouncing around, and it could have gone anywhere. Baumann dodged a bullet. And Phillips, well, this could be disastrous.
Talked to him before the game. He said the right ankle was fine, but it's a high ankle sprain. And last week, he injured it in the second quarter. It's been bothering him since the 3rd week of the season. And those things do not heal in 6 days, Nick.
Johnson's wide left. Davis, Finneran, and Marcos lined up in a group to the right. Greer again in the backfield. Baumann on 2nd down is flushed out. Denard Brown is after him. Brown can't get him. And it'll be a pickup of 7 yards for Todd Baumann, and Lawrence Phillips continues to receive treatment on the sidelines.
Well, here's the play that Lawrence Phillips got hurt on. Watch the right ankle just got fallen on by Dorian Brew and rolled up. He got up hobbled. Now that ankle has been getting treatment all week, Nick. He didn't practice all week. He basically was in glide mode, and that's a trouble area for this team right now.
Well, they didn't give a generous spot to Baumann. It's 3rd down and 6. At their own 49-yard line for Barcelona. Baumann has time, has a man. Marco Martos, the ever-dependable Mexican. in his 3rd season, makes the catch, and they'll move the chains.
What do you want?
Got a big touchdown in World Bowl
Bunch
97
left,
down in
Jets
Barcelona.
W. Bunch left,
And had a big
Jets
play
W.
in the first series last week.
The defensive front featuring Greg, Brown, Amy, and Kendrick Golston. Jimmy Clements, Derek Strye from the Seahawks, and Whit Marshall, a very active group of linebackers. Love, Moranto, Alexander, and Hampton make up the secondary. First down at the 39-yard line. No score here in World Bowl 99. Bauman, lots of time. Now he unloads in the direction of Marco Martos again. It's incomplete. There are no flags. Clarence Love had drawn coverage, but Martos had got in front of him, and Bauman knows that was close.
What they did was they put 3 wide receivers in a bunch formation to the left, allowing Marcus Martos to work one-on-one with Clarence Love. Martos getting up, hobbling himself. That was the World Bowl, what we talked about 2 years ago. Got the touchdown, the big play in that game. Had an opportunity, he got behind Clarence Love, but Todd Bauman underthrew that ball a little bit.
But that's 2 offensive weapons have limped out already for Barcelona on their first offensive series. 2nd down and 10. Bauman will give it to Mario Greer. And Greer will pick up positive yardage, and a second effort brings up a first down. That was a gutsy run from Mario Greer. He had Derek Strye wrapped up all over him, but they'll give him 12.
Well, it's a big opportunity for Mario Greer if Lawrence Phillips goes down in the biggest game of the season. And this is a guy that started the Super Bowl for the New England Patriots just 2 years ago against the Green Bay Packers.
Jack McNell calls him the best blocking back he's ever worked with. But until Phillips can get back, Greer is going to have to handle the load. 4 wide receivers on first down. Greer in the backfield. Bauman will throw. The pressure comes. Now Bauman will run. And seems to be caught in 2 minds there. And we'll get maybe just a couple before Kendrick Golston makes the stop.
Well, that looked like good coverage downfield. I mean, right there, Kendrick Golston, a rush right defensive end, working up against Melvin Tootin. Was able to collapse the pocket just a little bit.
17.
Lawrence Phillips back in the game, like we said last week. In that second half, that a -7 yards, hobbled by that high ankle sprain on the right side of the leg.
Finneran left. Carlos Rosado, the other Mexican, is wide right. Alonzo Johnson is the motion man. The give is to Phillips, and Phillips twists and turns. Will pick up 3 more before he's tackled. Derek Strye, the Seattle Seahawk, again involved in the play.
Derek Strye, an active middle linebacker here. I voted him to the All-World League team myself. Here it is, you're going to have a tackle trap. The right tackle, Darren Thorpe, pulls. That's Tony Moranto, the safety in the backfield. I mean, what they do is they key Lawrence Phillips. From the safety position, Tony Moranto in the backfield, looking only at number 2.
3rd down and 6. Finneran is the motion man. Bauman looks in the direction of Finneran, but he's going to be well short. He had Dorian Brew wrapping him up. Well, that's going to come up at least 3 yards short, and a strange call.
Yeah, because you got to get enough for the first down. Now, that's his favorite receiver and favorite target. And I think the key to the Barcelona Dragon offense, you need to get Brian Finneran involved in this offense early, and it loosens things up for Lawrence Phillips.
39-yard field goal attempt coming up from Jesus Angoy, who made a slow start, but then really started to find his rhythm. High snap, brought down by Jeff Beckley. Angoy's kick is on the way, and Barcelona are on the board first in World Bowl 99. The former Barcelona goalkeeper, Jesus Angoy, puts the Dragons on top early. Welcome back to Dusseldorf. 3-0 to the Barcelona Dragons over the Frankfurt Galaxy in World Bowl 99. Jesus Angoy officially a 38-yard field goal, and Angoy will kick it off as well.
Boy, and Angoy is hot. He kicked 5 field goals last week in that thrilling 28-26 victory. They got the Dragons here, and he had to be the hero last week, Nick.
There's confirmation, 11 plays, 49 yards. But Lawrence Phillips and Marco Martos limping out. The kick, another good deep one that Sean Scales takes a knee on.
That's a great kick.
Angoy's kicking has really improved. There was nothing that Scales could do with that. So Dick Curl talking to his guys beforehand.
für Frankfurt Galaxy.
I think we can work out what he's saying.
You step up and you prove that not only do we deserve to be here, but we're winning this whole thing. Right here, let's go!
He's a fiery leader, Dick Curl, isn't he?
Yeah, you know, don't be fooled by any sort of demeanor. I mean, he is a hard-nosed guy. I saw him on Thursday in practice, Nick, grab the offense, like literally by the throat, and just started chewing out the team, saying they're not focused. Let's get ready for Sunday.
First down, Rennie Ngoglia checks into the backfield. Delorme skips away. His mobility, a real key for the Frankfurt offense, and he picks up first down yardage where other quarterbacks would have been sacked for a loss.
I'll tell you, one thing about Jake Delorme is people say he's not a scrambling quarterback. This guy is Cajun tough. Right here, he's got the microphone on today. We'll be hearing from him along with Pat Barnes, and on the defensive side, safety Corey Gilliard. But all year long, Jake Delorme has escaped the initial rush, broken tackles, and those skids on the shoulder pad show up when he hits the dirt.
15 yards on the carry for Delorme. Now he'll throw. Mario Bailey is flattened as he makes the catch. Jason Suttle coming up with a not very subtle connection and a 6-yard gain for Super Mario.
Mario is the catalyst to this football team. You get Mario Bailey involved in the game early like he is against Jason Suttle here, and it galvanizes the whole team. Everybody gets up off the bench, and he gets this offense into a rhythm.
Bailey is in the slot to the left now. McCullough and Floyd are the wideouts. Watch out for Floyd. He's often overlooked, and that's a mistake. The pressure comes from Kadar Hamilton, and down goes Jake Delorme. And Kadar Hamilton hit Jake Delorme like a wrecking ball from the moon.
Kadar Hamilton, who was bothered for about 4 weeks this season with a badly sprained foot, came in from the right side of the line on a blitz, and he was untouched. And Delorme, who was looking the other way, looking left the whole time, never saw Hamilton come.
And Jay Haygood, the left tackle, is checking out of the lineup as well. He's hurt.
Well, he was the guy on the other side that got the brunt of that hit by Hamilton as Delorme fell on Haygood.
A 7-yard loss brings up third down and 11. Delorme. This time we'll air it out for McCullough, who's got it and is down at the 20-yard line. He got past to Powler and Suttle.
But I said that Andy McCullough would be a hero tonight because he felt snubbed by the people that voted for the All-NFL Europe wide receiver team, and he wasn't the first team, even though he led all receivers with 10 touchdown receptions this year.
A 45-yard gain.
Well, Andy McCullough is a big receiver. Jason Suttle's a small corner. McCullough, who's improved immeasurably this season over here, comes up with a big play.
And there are a lot of people who think he should have been in the All-NFL Europe team. Rennie Ngoglia is the ball carrier. He'll pick up 3. Ngoglia, who only joined the team in week 8. Man who played his college ball at the University of Massachusetts, wrapped up by Winfield Garnett.
Well, Rennie came in because there was an injury to the fullback, Mark Kakborinsky. He had a broken jaw, and he's a member of the Philadelphia Eagles. They sent him home. So Rennie Ngoglia, who was with the Buffalo Bills last year, got the call, and he came over, and he's filled in admirably.
Flag comes in. Delorme feels the heat, takes off once again, and is down at the 10-yard line. It will be a first down if it stands up, but we'll have to wait for the call. And Delorme again showing his flexibility. He's improved immeasurably as we get the call from Peter Morelli.
Offside. 54 in the defense. Penalty is declared. First down.
See, smart play by Jake Delorme, Nick, to continue with the play. Even though he knew it was a penalty and it was against the defense, that's why he didn't stop the play. He continued on. He's a smart, savvy guy, knew how far to go for the first down, and got the first down.
And he's being watched here by the general manager of the New Orleans Saints, Bill Kuharich, who's in town. So he needs a big performance. What can he come up with here on first down? Incomplete. He was looking in the direction of Todd Floyd, but the pressure was coming from Winfield Garnett, and he just had to get rid of it. He's so much more improved from the very raw player we saw in Amsterdam a year ago.
Jake, it's right out. Come on. It's right out. 970 bingo scat. Right out, 970 bingo scat.
970 bingo scat. On one, ready, break.
The play starts with Dick Curl. Then Jake Delhomme echoes it to the team in the huddle. Now at the line of scrimmage. The 970 is the protection. That's to the offensive line. Bingo is the route.
Floyd left, McCullough right. Bailey in the slot. They'll look for Ingoglia. And he gets it. He gets past the first guy and then is hit by Mike Maslowski, and they'll pick up 3.
Nice play by Mike Maslowski. You know, in the first Barcelona Dragon game, he had 19 tackles, Nick. The rest of the team only had 20 tackles.
He's had an unbelievable season. And if that guy isn't on the Kansas City Chiefs active roster next season, I'll be amazed.
I see that shoe polish under the eyes. He never takes it off. He sleeps with that stuff on. He has the game face on.
He was born with it.
Yeah.
Third down, a big third down. Delhomme looks, fires in the direction of Floyd. It's broken up.
Nice play by Ty Smith and Dante DePaulo as Floyd got his body on the ball in between the defense and the man. But those guys, DePaulo right there, was able to come over the strip. Todd Floyd at the top of the screen is working against Tyrone Smith. There's the ball right in Floyd's hands, but now DePaulo comes up and puts a crunching shot to the ribs and knocks the ball loose.
Now listen to the boos for Ralph Kleinman, a real villain here in Dusseldorf. And his confidence shot to pieces last week. But it'll be restored with that 25-yard field goal that restores parity here in World Bowl 99. 3:19 left, first quarter. We're tied up at 3.
Thanks for talking to me. Now, someone say you had a frustrating season. Did it all go wrong around week 7 there?
Week 7 was the week. We were tied for first place at the time, and then all of a sudden with a couple of injuries, we just couldn't stop people, and they caught up with our defense, and we had a tough time after that. It put a couple of years on me.
You still look good, though. Now, what about Damian Craig? He must have been a plus for you.
Damian had a great season. I think the experience was great for him, and it's certainly going to help him out in his future.
Would you be disappointed if, say, Craig or like Donald Sellers didn't make it into the NFL?
I would be. I'd be surprised and disappointed both.
So what are you doing in the off-season? Some fishing?
I'm doing a little fishing, but I'm trying to put next year's team together.
Okay, thanks for talking. I'll let you get back to the game.
Thoughts there of Jim Kreiner, the Scottish Claymores head coach. Ralph Kleinman gets a high hanging kick that Alonzo Johnson is going to field on the run at the 27. And he's pushed out of bounds eventually at the 29-yard line by Tony Moranto. A real high kickoff.
Well, that hang time allowed the coverage team to get down there and keep Johnson from making any kind of a gain, but still good field position for the Dragons. Of course, Ralph Kleinman's got to feel good getting that first field goal under his belt, Nick, after missing all 4 last week.
Well, they had a dog of a week, and he's been getting booed roundly here in pre-game warm-ups as well by Galaxy, or rather by Rhein Fire fans who blame him for their team not being here.
Well, he was the one that kicked the winning field goal right here against the Rhein Fire to win 21-20 in week 4.
Bauman from the 29-yard line, the flea flicker. And Bauman with a lot of time going downtown in the direction of Tabiti Davis. There was contact. Clear contact from Dorian Brew, and there are flags everywhere.
Yeah, there was a lot of hand checking going down the field, and Dorian Brew out there on the field in a nickel look when there go 3 wide receivers. Dorian Brew is an extra cornerback. This is a big matchup now. Tabiti Davis at 6'3" tries to sell the fake. Now it's just a straight fly route, speed on speed, and they're gonna let that go. They gotta let that go, Nick, right there. That's just good hand checking, defense and offense going at it. I don't think that he restricted Tabiti Davis from getting to that football, and that's the rule. If you restrict a wide receiver, then it's defensive pass interference.
So Dorian Brew and the Frankfurt Galaxy harshly dealt with there. A huge penalty takes it to the Frankfurt 25-yard line. First down. Kaipo Maguire is the motion man. The give is to Lawrence Phillips, who will pick up close to first down yardage. And Phillips, who's been favoring that ankle on the sidelines, not much wrong there.
Well, he didn't have to cut on that play, Nick. It was a wide open hole between Michael Batiste and Darren Thorpe on the right side. And this is just a delay here. Let the defense go on one way. Middle linebacker John Munch, number 50, blitzes. And now he's just running straight ahead. And that's the strength of Lawrence Phillips, running right through the tackle of Harold Grant.
Second down on inches. Davis is wide right. Johnson wide left. On the ground they go again. Phillips picks up first down yardage and more before John Munch wraps him up inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. First down Barcelona as we get inside 2 minutes left in the first quarter of World Bowl 99.
Well, that's the first 1,000-yard rusher in the history of this league. In 7 years in this league, Nick, that's the first one. And he has an exceptional burst of speed, and he's showing it right now. And that ankle that looked like it was bothering him in the first series, and he's still favoring him. He's putting the pain behind him right now.
First and goal.
188.
Ryan Finner at the top of the screen is wide open.
The Bauman looks in that direction and it's picked off and no one dropped. Would you believe that? Harold Gragg had it and lost it.
Harold Gragg, the second-year player, played in the World Bowl last year in a losing effort. Todd Bauman looking right all the way at Brian Finner. Going to throw the fade, but he gets hit from the backside. And Harold Gragg, defensive lineman, has got the fingers all taped up. You know, they got hands of stone typically. That's why they're on the line. Those hands weren't able to grip that ball and bring it in.
A bit of luck for Todd Bauman.
188.
Finneran at the top of the screen. Davis joins him there. Bauman rolls, gets a wide open Lawrence Phillips. And Phillips is hit hard on the 5-yard line. Jimmy Clements coming up from outside linebacker and making the stop. And that's how you've got to hit Lawrence Phillips.
But the strength of this entire Frankfurt Galaxy defense is the linebackers. Derek Stride, Jimmy Clements, Whit Marshall. These guys have been like chess pieces that Daniel, the defense coordinator, have been moving around all season. And it's their flexibility, the ability to go make plays in different positions that has kept them in football games this year.
Still nobody's reached the end zone.
12.
As we get down to the last few seconds of the first quarter. Third down and goal. Finneran is the motion man. Bauman gives it to Phillips. Phillips with a lot of work to do. Does he get in? Yes, he does. Touchdown, Barcelona.
Lawrence Phillips has the ability to take a game over all by himself. He showed exceptional speed and vision to the outside, and these Rhein Fire fans are now Barcelona fans. You might as well take the Rhein Fire jerseys off and put the Barcelona Dragons jerseys on, because they're cheering against the Galaxy. And his 15th touchdown of the season, Nick.
And he had a lot of work to do there, and on that run we saw just why he's the best player ever to play in this league. Angoy tacks on the extra point, and the Barcelona Dragons have a 10-3 lead courtesy of this man, Lawrence Phillips, the best running back ever to play the game over here in Europe, probably the best player ever to play the game over here.
Well, he came over with more height than any other player in the history of this league, and there was a lot of pressure put on him. You're going to see right here, he steps up to the middle, and then he bounces it to the outside. Now, Clements has a shot at him. Now he gets going north-south. I mean, he just ran right through the linebacker, Jimmy Clements, to get into the end zone. Tremendous will right here by Phillips, and good vision as well.
Clements couldn't get him. Gilliard couldn't get him. And Lawrence Phillips goes in. He smashed all the records in regular season. And as you say, Brian, touchdown number 15 on the year.
And I also got to give credit to the offensive line so far in this first quarter. Nick, I thought that they didn't play real well last week. They gave up 5 sacks. Todd Bauman didn't have a good game. And I thought Lawrence Phillips struggled last week because the offensive line couldn't get him to the line of scrimmage clean. Right now, sucking on some oxygen, and well-deserved.
Angoy with another terrific kick. Fielded right down at the goal line by Scales. And Scales finds a hole, gets past Kadar Hamilton, and will get to midfield.
He's got a convoy.
Still going. Before he was dragged down from behind. But a huge play on special teams for the Frankfurt Galaxy.
Well, last week, Sean Scales didn't play in the game. Andy McCullough returned the kickoffs for him. In fact, he had a 58-yarder return. But Sean Scales back and healthy this week, right behind a big wedge. In fact, number 18, Andy McCullough, threw a good block for him. Right there, Kadar Hamilton had a shot at him. Now, he picks up blockers. Now, Rene Ingolia right there, along with Ron Lashinsky and Jimmy Clements throwing interference downfield.
63-yard return.
Over.
And here's the change at quarterback. It's Pat Barnes. Working with great field position. They'll go on the ground. The last play of the first quarter, Jermaine Chaney cuts inside, gets it to the 31-yard line. Barry Mitchell was there to make the stop. And that is the end of the first quarter, with the Barcelona Dragons leading the Frankfurt Galaxy, but the Galaxy looking to hit back. We're going to take a short break. Back in a moment. Welcome back to the Rheinstadion in Düsseldorf. World Bowl 99, just getting ready to start the second quarter. Some big plays in that first quarter, Brian.
Plenty of them. A couple of pass interference penalties, a big pass to Andy McCullough. And I thought Lawrence Phillips coming back from what looked like a really shooken up right ankle, real strong in the last series. And Pat Barnes now making his start. He plays the second and fourth quarter.
Right out.
As we start the second quarter,
I'm on, ready? Hurry up,
Barnes gets that start. Last week, his first pass was interception, Nick, as it got tipped by Mike Meslowski.
Here we go, we're fine. We're fine, 970, 970, 970, 970.
Well, the Dragons rocked on their heels a little bit by that 63-yard return from Scales. Can the Galaxy capitalize? Barnes with the swing pass to Cheney, who takes his eyes off the ball and drops it. It's incomplete. That's going to bring up 3rd down and 4.
Well, Cheney is a guy that was banged up last week. We talked about these two guys sharing time. I mean, they've been almost identical this season. The only difference is that Pat Barnes, in week 7, injured his ankle in the first quarter. And he only threw 3 passes that day. Otherwise, these guys would have almost identical statistics.
I remember Dick Curl telling me back in week 2, yeah, I'm just going to go with this system, play them both, and it'll work out.
Now, the players didn't really believe it, Nick.
Yeah, I didn't believe it. But it has worked. 6 defensive backs in on 3rd down. Barnes with a lot of time. Has a man. It's the big man, Werner Hippler. And what a receiver Werner Hippler has developed into. People that have watched this league for the last 5 years, we know what a great blocker he is. He's shown a very good pair of hands this year. 30 catches in the regular season and hanging on to a tough one there.
Well, he was the best receiver on the field for the Galaxy just last week. He caught 6 passes for 104 yards, most of them right over the middle. You know, and then the ability to hang on to the ball as he gets rocked by Ricky Bell.
Blue 5. Blue 5.
First down, Frankfurt. Barnes fakes the handoff, now rolls on the bootleg. Brandon Noble's after him, but Barnes has got some space up ahead. Greg Marlowe just gives him a hit and a half. Wow.
He got hit, but did you see how quickly Pat Barnes got up? He was a competitor. He took a great shot from Gregory Mallow. You know, but he wants a first down. This is the championship game. This might be his last chance ever for a championship. He leaves it all on the field here, Nick. This is a bootleg run all the way. Nobody outside. He's looking at a lot of green. But Brandon Noble chase after him.
And the hit from Marlowe actually stopped the first down.
Yeah, knocked over one of those adverb signs. No, those advertisers don't like that. They get knocked out.
Blue 8.
They can send the bill to Greg Marlowe for that one. Second and short, Jermaine Cheney just dives forward and plows his way inside. Lyron Cobbins coming up and making the stop.
Well, what you see is what Frankfurt likes to do. They like to throw the football to set up the run. They're throwing it, they're loosening it up, and then they run Jermaine Cheney, pick up the first downs, and move the chains.
As we look at the numbers from Cheney, he's never been productive against the Barcelona Dragons. Mario Bailey is the slot receiver. McCullough, who's dangerous, wide right. Floyd, wide left. Cheney in the backfield.
8. Silver 8.
First down. Barnes with a lot of time. Looks end zone. Touchdown, Frankfurt. Andy McCullough.
Let's go get it, baby. Great job, Andy.
Andy McCullough with his 11th touchdown reception of the season, most productive wide receiver in this league. And yeah, there's still plenty of Frankfurt Galaxy fans here in Rheinstadion. And McCullough said he had something to prove tonight. To everybody that voted for the All-NFL Europe team, he felt snubbed. He said I was going to use this game to prove everybody wrong.
Now, can Ralph Kleiman continue his rehabilitation? Oh, it wobbled through, but it got through. And we are tied up again. 12:40 left in the first half of World Bowl 99. It's 10 apiece, and this one is developing into a good one. 10 apiece here at the Rheinstadion in Düsseldorf. We thought there'd be points, Brian, and so far it's going according to script.
Well, last week, these two teams scored on their first 5 drives. And here you're going to see Pat Barnes engineer their first touchdown tonight as he gets good protection up front from his offensive line. They keep the tight end in, keep 6 guys in blocking. Andy McCullough at 6'3" and a physical receivers works the back of the end zone line. Watch Barnes here. Nobody gets near Pat Barnes. He's able to step up into the pocket calmly, and of course the reaction is always great. It's never a bad feeling when you throw a touchdown pass, working double coverage. Kadar Hamilton and Jason Settle let him run right by him. It's a blown coverage there by the Dragons.
Too fast.
And it means we're level. Jake DeLorme goes over to say, what was that all about?
Well, if you had any question about those two quarterbacks working together, that's the reason why. They like each other.
Ralph Kleinman with the kick to the 5-yard line. Kaipo Maguire, can he do what Sean Scales did? No, he can't. He's tackled at the 20-yard line. Ron Lashinsky, the tight end, coming up. Another New Orleans Saints. I wonder how many of these Saints players know that the general manager's in the house tonight.
Well, Bilka Harrick is here from the New Orleans Saints, and for Ron Lashinsky, who's playing tight end this year, he goes to New Orleans this year with the chance to block for the best running back in the NFL draft, Ricky Williams. And he's going to be a fullback in that offense. He's going to learn how to put his hand on the ground behind the quarterback and be a lead blocking back for Ricky Williams. And he said he's ready to do it.
First down to BT Davis, the motion man. Bauman will hand it off. Not much going on there. 3 yards. No more than that for Lawrence Phillips before he stuffed Kendrick Golston coming up from left end and making the stop. But Phillips will pound away on you all game long, assuming he stays healthy.
Well, he'll pound at you, but what the defense needs to do is pound at Lawrence Phillips. And what they did last week was the first guy that got to him held him up, and then the next 5 Galaxy players brought him down, and the physical punishment wore him out last week.
3 wide receivers to the right now. On second down now, Davis switches to the left. Bauman will throw and has protection and has a man. Carlos Rosado, the Mexican, fighting for extra yardage, gets past Clarence Love and is eventually stopped by Whit Marshall. And this fella's really developed this season, Carlos Rosado.
Well, he has. You know, and that's a credit to Todd Bauman because he sees the whole field and he doesn't play favorites. Whoever's open is there. That's for Carlos Rosado's 5th catch of the season. And he has. He's had his best season so far in this league.
And it's a first down for the Dragons at their own 39-yard line. Finneran, who we haven't heard from much. Blitz is threatened. Now he's looking for Finneran, and he's got him. Working Tony Moranto, which is a matchup that they would like to get going here, the Dragons. Just a 5-yard gain there, but Finneran on Moranto is a matchup that Jack McNull loves.
Well, they put Finneran in motion, and they want to see who picks him up. Does somebody come over and play him one-on-one, or somebody just stay there? Moranto is on that side of the field, and that's a good tackle by Tony Moranto, who was a wide receiver in New Orleans last year, bringing Finneran down.
Second down. The draw play, Lawrence Phillips gets away from tacklers, puts his helmet down, picks up 7 more. First down, Barcelona. It's almost a question that doesn't need asking. Is this guy an NFL running back?
Oh, there's no question about it. You know, here this week is John Butler and A.J. Smith of the Buffalo Bills. They want to sign him. They want him badly, and it's their #1 priority this year because of this, the ability to make people miss and then get physical with people at the end of a play.
24,
Mario Greer in the backfield now. As Barcelona work a first down in Frankfurt territory, and the pressure comes, and Bauman is wrapped up Derek Stride with the sack.
Well, what they do here, Nick, is they delay blitz. They don't come right away. They let the offensive line get set first, and then as everybody gets blocked, Derek Stride then comes free. You're going to see him here. You don't see him in the picture right now. Now here comes Derek Stride, 58. He picks his hole right up the gut, trying to keep Bauman in the pocket. They got him for 5 sacks last week. They get him for their first tonight.
And a loss of yardage, 7 yards. Brings up second down and 17. Maguire is the motion man. They'll go on the ground. And Mario Greer isn't going to get much out of Denard Brown there. And that's going to bring up third down and long. Marcus Richter, the German, with an assist. And that's why Mario Greer is in the game.
Well, they're looking at Lawrence Phillips' hamstring right here. They run a tackle trap. They pull the left tackle. It's a very slow developing play. Melvin Tootin pulls. Really, that's the best way to stop a running game, is to play defense on the other side of the line of scrimmage. And Denard Brown, with 2 sacks last week, had a great game, off to a good start tonight.
Third and 19.
Wide, 50, hot.
Baumann, with time, looks in the direction of Rosado again. A great diving effort, but he's out of bounds.
We're working up against Clarence Love, one-on-one down the sideline, and Rosado didn't stay in bounds.
He made a great effort. I think he actually caught the ball, but he had no chance of coming in bounds. But that shows the confidence Baumann has in this young Mexican.
Well, it's kind of a strange call when you think about Tabiti Davis and Brian Finneran on the other side of the field, but they're getting the double coverage, and Rosado was single coverage, and he went to him.
Jeff Beckley will kick it away to Sean Scales, who's already ripped off a 63-yard kickoff return. He fields this at his own 16-yard line and then is nailed. Cam Quayle, the backup tight end, was the first man there. And so the Frankfurt Galaxy will have the ball at their own 22-yard line. Well, I tell you, Kevin, it's not easy to play anything with an ankle injury, and we can bring you an update while you guys were talking. He went into the dressing room, did Lawrence Phillips, so he's out of the game at the moment, and that's big for Barcelona. Frankfurt on offense with Barnes, with time, and a wide-open man, Ron Lashinsky. Barnes storms his way deep into Barcelona territory to the 37-yard line. That from a man who only caught 10 passes in the regular season.
Well, Mike just alluded that they weren't using the tight ends, and they must have listened to him, because the middle of the field is wide open as they take Lashinsky, and he comes right down the seam against the linebacker, Dave Thomas. Dave Thomas got caught up in the play-action pass. He came up, allowed Lashinsky to go right down the seam.
First down. Movement, and flags come in. Rennie Ingoglia will carry the ball regardless. There was certainly movement at the line. Kendrick Burton, number 94, jumped. We'll have to wait and see if he was drawn or not. But Ingoglia doing the smart thing and just taking off anyway.
Now, one thing about Pat Barnes, he moves this football team, Nick. He has all season. He comes in, he's an instant spark. I mean, this rotation has worked out well because, boy, when Pat Barnes gets his chance, he goes right to the jugular of the defense. It's going to be offsides against Barcelona.
Offside.
We're going to decline the penalty.
Number 94 on the defense.
That is Kendrick Burton.
5-yard penalty. Still, first down.
Well, they take it.
They take the penalty. They gained 7 yards.
Oh, some Monarchs fans.
Yeah, they won't die.
The team is gone, but it's not forgotten.
Famous lyrics by a famous songwriter.
Blue 8.
First down and 5.
Blue 8 it.
Barnes with time. And it's a touchdown again, Andy McCullough. He seemed to have no chance, and suddenly he just burst past Jason Suttle, and Andy McCullough is putting on a show here.
He said, "This is going to be my stage tonight. I got snubbed for not being the first team All-NFL Europe. I've got something to prove." And those fans love it. And Barnes, 2 touchdown passes in his first 2 series.
All day, right? All day. Let's go.
And it was such a slow developer as well. It looked like he was well covered, then suddenly he got a step on Suttle, and he was in. And Kleinman will attempt the extra point, and even Kleinman's hitting him straight down the pipe now. And the Frankfurt Galaxy have their first lead of the ball game, and Andy McCullough from the Arizona Cardinals is putting on quite a show.
He said, "You know what, I'm not finished yet. I need more of that football." And you're going to see him here at the top of the screen. Pat Barnes gets good help from Rennie Ingoglia on the blitz, and Jason Suttle, one-on-one, never looks at the ball until McCullough gets a little burst and gets 1 step behind Suttle, and the safety help of Dante DePaulo is too late. But here's a big receiver now. Right now, Nick, he's stride for stride. Now's a little burst right there. He's using that left hand to keep Suttle away from him, and then great concentration in the end zone and a terrifically thrown ball by Pat Barnes. We'll see Pat Barnes' reaction here as this ball goes up in the air. McCullough, his 12th touchdown catch of the season. Yeah. Nice concentration. That ball hits his right hand. It sticks to his glove. He squeezes it just as he hits the ground. Maybe not total control of that football as it hit the ground, but nice job of covering it up.
There was an official had a view of it, and he called it touchdown. And whatever those replays might have suggested, that's in the books. Touchdown, 32 yards. Pat Barnes to Andy McCullough. Alonzo Johnson fields the ball at his 7-yard line and finds a seam. And is down at the 32-yard line. John Munch coming up and making the stop. And now how do Barcelona respond in adversity? They're behind for the first time. And still no Lawrence Phillips around.
Well, in Oakland this year, great opportunity for Pat Barnes. Because Rich Gannon is in his 13th year and Wade Wilson may be eligible for Social Security. And you saw what Andre Ware did this year, and nobody knows who Scott Dreisbach is. But Pat Barnes is making a name for himself here.
The Galaxy winning the passing battle, hands down at the moment. Davis is the motion man. Baumann looks, finds a man, he picks up 10 yards as he finds Kaipo McGuire.
Well, you know, the interesting thing about Lawrence Phillips being out here, Nick, is that Jack McNell has always been a big play coach and a passing coach. So it rests on that man, Todd Baumann's hands right now. This game is in his hands as long as Lawrence Phillips is out. And he's got a number of great receivers to throw the ball to. And he's on display here for the Minnesota Vikings. He'd love to finish in a flourish.
And surely Jack McNell's got to find a way to work Brian Finneran increasingly into the ball game as well. He's the big play receiver. Baumann has time, has a man. It's Alonzo Johnson again. Johnson tackled by Ron Bailey, the brother of Champ Bailey. And it's a first down for the Barcelona Dragons.
Well, you know, this is the same Frankfurt Galaxy defense that gave up 611 yards passing to Damian Craig this year. You know, they can lose their confidence very quickly. And all Todd Baumann needs to do is take what this defense gives them. And then the big play will be there, just like Pat Barnes has found Andy McCullough the last 2 series.
Finneran not even in the ball game at the moment. McGuire and Johnson are the wideouts. Davis is the motion man, 2 tight ends. Mario Greer will attempt to turn the corner, but he's just not Lawrence Phillips. And he's tackled by Clarence Love, or rather Corey Gilliard, who's playing on an injured knee.
Well, there's the Minnesota Vikings roster. You know, of course, Cunningham with a great season last year. They brought Jeff George from the Oakland Raiders, and then they drafted with the first-round pick Dante Culpepper. You know, people say, Todd Baumann, he's the 4th guy. How can he stay? You play good in this league, and you can play quarterback. There's a job for you waiting in the NFL.
57, 57. Set, 188. Wide.
2nd down and long. Baumann. That one's batted down. The big man, Marcus Richter, a 6'7" giant.
There's Marcus Richter in there, a national player from Germany and a guy that really has developed in this league and starts full-time and plays full-time in this 4-man defensive front. You'll see 75 and 6'6" get the big paws up in the air and knock this ball down. There it is. Work against Darren Thorpe. You can't get to the quarterback. Get your hands in the way of the quarterback.
3rd down and 10 now.
Tone, you got me.
Davis goes in motion. Baumann will throw. The pressure comes from the outside, and he's in trouble, and Jimmy Clements has got him. Drop for a 3-yard loss, and the Galaxy's defense stands firm.
Well, they're keeping Todd Baumann in the pocket, and when he makes him scramble, they're making him go east-west. And Jimmy Clements, who comes in from the left side, gets pressure, lining up a defensive end, working against Darren Thorpe. Good chase by Clements, and it's a smart move by the defense to rush the linebacker from defensive end because of his speed.
Beckley kicks it away to Sean Scales, who fields at the 15 and is down at the 15. Great special teams hustle from number 51, Mike Maslowski, who does everything. He long snaps, he tackles everywhere, he makes special teams plays too.
Well, you see what he was just putting his gloves back on. He has to take his gloves off to snap the football. He takes his gloves off to snap, then he goes down, he makes the tackle after he snaps, then he puts his gloves back on and goes to play linebacker. There he is putting his gloves on right now. You know, he needs those hands to feel the football. Now, he's going to go to the Kansas City Chiefs this year as a long snapper, number 1. He's going to make the team as their deep snapper. But then he's also going to be a special team guy. He also is going to be worked into the defense. He'll be on that football team this year.
Over.
And the Barcelona defense needs to make a stand here, as the balance of power in this game has shifted. Ever since Pat Barnes came in, big Werner Hippler makes the catch. He's wrapped up by Dave Thomas, but nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to go one-on-one with Werner Hippler.
Nah, he's a big body, you know, and he's a crowd favorite. He's been playing here a long time. He's from right down the street here in Cologne, Germany. Now, they call him the mayor of Cologne. He owns a couple of health clubs there in Cologne, and you know, a crowd favorite. Leaves the Frankfurt Galaxy and goes to play for the Cologne Crocodiles. Played 32 football games last year.
And has bounced around the NFL. He was in camp with Detroit last year, was on the practice squad of the San Diego Chargers a couple of years ago. Barnes gets rid of it. Andy McCullough drags it in somehow. And if the Arizona Cardinals are looking at this game, they're going to be looking at a spot for Andy McCullough. What a catch.
Oh, what a display and what a talent by Andy McCullough, who's had a number of big games this season. But that one-handed catch, now they got Ricky Bell working on it. They keep changing quarterbacks, trying to see if they can get a mismatch.
Oh, that's all Andy McCullough.
What a great catch and great effort by McCullough. A man who said before the game, I've got something to prove. And that's how you do it. You prove it on the field.
19 yards. Barnes has completed his last 6 passes with a lot of help from McCullough. Barnes looks once again and completes, this time to Mario Bailey, who goes out of bounds right at the first down marker.
Well, Mario Bailey, who led this league in receptions this year with 63, said, you know what? The reason why I've had the best year of my career is because of Andy McCullough. They can't double team both of us. So if they decide to put the coverage on McCullough right there on your screen, it's going to allow Mario to work one-on-one, and it's difficult to cover a little flea out there in the middle of a freeway.
This guy still keeps just clocking up the yardage and the catches. First down for Barnes. Lots of time. Has a man, Jermaine Chaney. Jermaine Chaney dances away from one man and picks up 15 yards. The tackle had to be made by Tristan Moss. He didn't make it. And the Galaxy are rolling now.
Well, I don't know how many passes Barnes has missed, but it seems like he is on target. He's only missed one ball all day. And he has a rhythm right now, and nothing Barcelona can do can slow him down, because wherever they take the coverage, he's finding the open man. He just found McCullough, Bailey, and then Chaney back-to-back passes.
Barnes' numbers 8 of 9 for 141 and 2 touchdowns. Chaney, a rare carry for him, and he is tackled for no gain. Mike Maslowski and Jason Suttle were there. Second down and 10.
Well, Chaney is a nice compliment. He was banged up a little bit last week. We saw a lot of Renegade Golia, but this...
And we're at the 2-minute warning, so we'll take a quick break. 2 minutes left in the first half here in the Rheinstadion, and the Frankfurt Galaxy really turning it on in this second quarter. They trailed 10-3 at the end of the first. They lead 17-10 now, and with 2 minutes left, they're looking for more. And you just said it, Brian, somewhere along the line, Barcelona's got to try and slow down Andy McCullough.
Well, the key to stopping Andy McCullough is you've got to be able to hit him off the line of scrimmage. You can't just let him free release and allow Pat Barnes to watch him go down the field.
McCullough's at the top of the screen. Bailey's in the slot. Floyd at the bottom of the screen. Chaney in the backfield. Second down and 10 at the 36. Again, no pressure. So the swing pass goes out to Jermaine Chaney, who's pushed out of bounds by Mike Maslowski after a pickup of 3. That's going to bring up a third down and 7. And you think defensively, Barcelona really need to restrict them to a field goal and nothing more here.
Yeah, I don't think they can give up the touchdown right now. You look at the Denver Broncos, believe in this league, and they've got a number of players playing over here today, and these are guys that helped them win the Super Bowl last year. And that's John Beat, the general manager of the Denver Broncos, just one of a number of personnel people from the NFL that are here watching players and enjoying the game.
And a real big supporter of the league as well, John Beat, down the years. Third down, Barnes feels some pressure, but still has time. Brandon Noble again can't get him. What can Barnes do? Still there, and he loses the ball, and it runs into the hands of an offensive lineman who just happens to be Todd Stewart. Right place, right time.
Well, Pat Barnes is a high-risk factor with the football, always looking to make a play. Now, look at his eyes go. He's scanning the entire field. He's looking left, he's looking right. Now what I do? Now he's making these defense linemen tired and crazy. But eventually they catch up to him. That ball gets knocked off by Winfield Garnett, but Todd Stewart right there with the recovery, and a key recovery to hang on to that football.
But it wasn't smart. They lost 10 yards.
Hey, he can't be running a 25-second clock. Thanks. Okay.
Well, you know what Dick is thinking is they were right
Hey, they
in
gotta
field
start
goal
the
range.
Clock, right?
And they lost 13
Start
yards.
the clock. Start the clock.
And of course, Dick
I
wants
want
that
the
clock
clock to
rolling
run.
now.
Well, he doesn't
Stay
want
right
Barcelona to have that chance with the football
Stay right here.
before the end of the second half or
Okay.
first half here on this
Okay.
fourth down.
It's punt.
And it means that Barcelona have to take a timeout to stop the clock. It's their first timeout. Clock management from both these teams has been efficient today. Throughout the season, we've seen teams burning timeouts in the first quarter.
Well, a
As we
couple of
look at
key rules here. The one that I like here is the 4-point score for a 50-yard field goal or more. Well, we won't see that on this deal, but I also think that the 35-second play clock makes this game go much faster. And then the overtime rules, of which Frankfurt has been involved in 3 in the last 2 years. And of course, for the Frankfurt Galaxy this year, Ralph Kleiman, good for a 4-point field goal, 52-yard field goal.
Jesus Ango is longest, 49 yards. Cantrell will kick it away to Maguire. And it's a high hanging kick that Maguire wants nothing to do with, and it takes a hop into the end zone. So the Dragons have a minute and 20 seconds remaining in the first half to try and pull this back, but that was an important stand defensively for them. They really didn't need to ship any more points.
Well, Pat Barnes had come in the second quarter and taken them on 2 touchdown drives and put up 14 points, and they took the lead. They had to slow that momentum. Now, I've seen Todd Baumann in this situation. In a 2-minute drill, hurry-up offense, ignite his football team. And the key guy on these drives for him is Brian Finneran. But that's the elements right now that Todd Baumann is working against, that kind of downpour.
Finneran is in a group lined up at the bottom of the screen. First down. Baumann feels the pressure again, and Carlos Rosado has to come back and make a great reaction. But it's only a 5-yard gain. Rosado did a great job there, the young Mexican. We're seeing players from all over the league, all over the world now in this league. We're seeing Mexicans, we're seeing Australians, Germans, of course. Carlos Rosado from Mexico. Surely only a matter of time before we see a Moroccan come into the league. Some pretty good athletes over there.
I'm sure they'll be good in the dry weather.
Second down. A wide open Mario Greer can't hang on to the ball. And that's going to bring up third down, and Mario Greer has got to hang on to that thing.
Well, he's got to hang on, and the other thing that Barcelona has to do is they have to do a better job of picking up the blitz. Right now, Frankfurt is rushing their 4-down defensive linemen, and they're picking a linebacker to blitz from another direction, and it's putting pressure on Todd Baumann. But this is a key third down for them. They do not want to turn this ball over, back over to Frankfurt with time left on the clock.
46 seconds left, and they're still at their own 24. Baumann flushed. Now will run. And he has time to throw, and he can't find Greer, but he does find Alonzo Johnson, but a flag comes in, and the quarterback was right at the line of scrimmage when he threw that ball. The officials may rule that he stepped over it.
That's exactly what they're going to rule, Nick. That's going to be one of the rulings. There's going to be 2 flags on this. But he was downfield on that throw, and this is a loss of down and a severe penalty. Barcelona's going to be forced to punt right now.
Ineligible player, number 61 on the offense, downfield, still, third down, 5-yard penalty.
Well, that's Mike Batiste.
Oh, that was Mike, bad call on that. I thought that Todd Baumann was over the line of scrimmage, which is a loss of down. Mike Batiste, the right guard, was probably looking to throw some blocks downfield for Todd Baumann.
With 37 seconds left. It means the Dragons still have a glimmer of hope, but Baumann needs to find a big reception here. And offensively, they've been struggling. There was a flinch at the line of scrimmage as well. Darren Thorpe, number 79, definitely seemed to flinch.
Along with the right guard, Michael Batiste, who just got flagged for being downfield on the last play.
Well, it's one of them. Peter Borelli will tell us who.
False start, number 60, 5-yard penalty.
It's Matt Reed, the center.
Still,
They all did it.
down.
Yeah, the center can't be offside. You know that. He was the one that's snapping the football. You're going to see the right guard, number 61, is actually the one that steps up and flinches.
Yeah, it's Batiste, yeah.
Yeah. They just got 60 and 61. They all look the same to officials as they do to the rest of the
offensive
the
linemen.
world. Yeah,
They're
just,
all the same.
They think these offensive linemen are just anonymous. Like they don't have names or personalities or histories. But that just shows ignorance. You know better than that, Nick.
Oh,
Been
I
working
certainly
with
do.
tremendous offensive linemen like myself over the years.
Yes, I know, Brian.
Yeah, you've
Yes.
learned.
54,
I think everyone knows you used to play offensive line now.
Well, you've gained your respect for us.
Third and a bunch for Bauman. And he lets one go, and it was almost picked off by Clarence Love. They were looking for Carlos Rosado again. Love was there to break it up. And as well as Rosado is playing, it's significant that he seems to be the only guy that's getting open. Everyone else is getting blanketed.
Well, Clarence Love is one of the reasons why. He came over here in week 7 this year because he was injured all preseason, the first 7 weeks of the season. And his first game back, he got torched by Scotland in that 611-yard passing frenzy by Damian Craig. But he's gotten better shape and he's playing better football now.
So Beckley punts from his own end zone. Scales waits at his own 45. They may get another shot at this, the Galaxy. It's a good kick from Beckley, but is taken at the 38. Scales will look to work inside. Spins away from Jason Sutherland, still on his feet, and they're in trouble here, the Dragons. In the end, it's Mike Parker that runs him out of bounds at the 49-yard line with 16 seconds remaining. Scales is stepping up tonight as well.
He didn't play last week, and he was upset that he was out of the action. One thing about Todd Bauman right there is he never gets down and he never panics. And actually, being down 7 for the Barcelona Dragons is nothing for this team, who's already made the best comeback in the history of NFL Europe this year, down 28-3 to the Scottish Claymores in week 8. Came back to win that game.
But this team without Lawrence Phillips.
Well, he's going to be the key.
That has proved to be such a big difference in this second quarter. First down. Can Barnes make him pay once again? He's looking for McCullough. Not even McCullough could bring that one in. It's going to bring up second down and 10 with 12 seconds left on the clock. That's in the stadium. Although our clock says 11. Either way, not long to go for the Galaxy here if they want to build on this 7-point lead. Have you noticed how the clock in the stadium sometimes favors one team over the other? You see it consistently down the years. They're giving the Galaxy here an extra second.
Hey, they'll take it.
Well, sometimes it's a game of seconds, sometimes it's a game of inches. Second down. Barnes steps up away from the pressure. A flag comes in, and he finds Mario Bailey, who is corralled at the 23-yard line, and that'll be a first down if it stands up. It puts Kleinman in field goal range if it stands up, and I've got a feeling it isn't going to.
Now, this play is going to come back in a nice effort by Barnes and Bailey, but only because...
77 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Jay Haygood, the left tackle, flag for the hold.
And that hurts, because that did put Ralph Kleinman in field goal position. Here he's at the left tackle position working against Winfield Garnett. He's got his right sleeve. See that? He just took him down right there on the play. There's the yellow flag. And that flag rarely ever misses the guy that's guilty of the infraction.
This is fucking suicide.
Well, I think we know how Pat Barnes feels about it all.
Blue 5. Blue 5 hit.
Second and long. Barnes will just have to put it up in the air and hope for the best, which is what he does. He's looking for Todd Floyd, and it's incomplete. And there is no time on the clock, and so we are at the half here in World Bowl 99. 17-10, Frankfurt leading Barcelona. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hey, come here! God damn it. Oh, no, no!
said two, don't talk.
Money, money. Money. Woo. Hey, let's put the women and children to bed and take them out for donuts, baby. I feel like punching you right in the f***ing head.
God damn us. Doing a lousy job.
Thanks very much indeed, Kevin. Well, as we see Todd Baumann, you've got to wonder what's happening to this Dragons offense. Lawrence Phillips hurt in the first half. He's come out for the second half, but Brian Finneran almost absent without leave as we see those numbers, and Marco Martos limping as well, and frankly, they're getting killed at the moment.
Well, I think the Barcelona Dragons defensive backs have had a hard time trying to contain Andy McCullough. Certainly Pat Barnes gave him a lift. But the Dragons have been a second-half team all year, and I see Lawrence Phillips down on the sideline. He'll start the second half. I talked with the general manager of the Buffalo Bills, John Butler, who's here to personally scout him today, and he said he's got a tight hamstring, and a tight hamstring in Buffalo, he'll be out there playing football. So Lawrence Phillips, who's had a number of great second halves this season, tries to lift this Barcelona Dragon team on his shoulders and a sore hamstring and tries to take this team all the way.
Well, there is Phillips warming up.
That's not real promising now. You know, here in the first half, Todd Baumann able to get the ball to Lawrence Phillips any way they can, and this is him with two good legs. But he got nicked on that play right there, got up limping. Certainly on this touchdown run right here, great vision and a real nose for that goal line.
Yeah, it just shows what he can do and how much these Dragons are missing him.
Well, that's the story right now. You know, he went out in the second quarter when it was really unavailable, as he was last week in the second half. And he's the key to this team.
But the good news for Barcelona is they're only down by 7 as we get the second half underway, and it's going to be Alonzo Johnson to field it. And Johnson finds a seam, and he's past the 30 at the 35 before he's tackled by Ron Bailey down at the 38-yard line. Because Frankfurt had 2 good opportunities to put Jack Bicknell's team a long way behind. But they didn't take advantage of them, and Mario Greer stays in the game in the backfield as we listen to Jack.
We were just that far away on defense. Now stay after him on defense. Concentrate on the kicking game. Offense, you start with the ball. We get it. Let's get after him. Come on, baby.
Oh, eyes on Jack Bicknell right there.
Let's go.
As he delivered that halftime speech, 30 minutes to his second World Bowl, if they can put some points on the board here.
Finneran's the motion man, and that one was tipped at the line of scrimmage, and it's incomplete. Second down and 10.
Well, Whit Marshall right there has had a great season for the Galaxy. Now, he was an all-NFL Europe selection at linebacker and a former Philadelphia Eagle trying to get back to this league. And both the run and the pass, Whit has fought through injuries this year to be a complete linebacker.
Second down. Can this Dragon offense get things moving without its catalyst? Lawrence Phillips, Finneran again, the motion man. Greer gets the carry. Whit Marshall wrapped up behind him, and which of these two teams is going to win this, the World Bowl? 41 pounds that thing weighs. They've both won it before, Frankfurt in 95, Barcelona in 97. Who's going to get their hands on it now?
Both these coaches trying to get to the World Bowl, trying to win it. Jack trying to win his second World Bowl. Dick trying to get to his second, actually his third World Bowl in a row, as he was part of Jack's team in 97.
Third down. Baumann's only completed one of his last 5. And that one's broken up too. He was looking for Alonzo Johnson, and a flag comes in on Alonzo Hampton. And we're going to have to take another look at that. Hampton in disbelief.
Well, Alonzo Hampton against Alonzo Johnson. 1-on-1 on the outside for a first down. Johnson trying to get inside position on him.
There is no penalty on the play. Fourth down.
And that looks a good call.
Well, strangely enough, they start the second half unable to get the ball to Brian Finneran, so they go to Alonzo Johnson. Hampton in perfect position right here. You're allowed to touch that receiver within a 5-yard mark. He was with within the 5 yards right there. Very good coverage by Hampton, forcing the Dragons to punt.
So Jeff Beckley back on to punt again. Sean Scales, the deep man from the Pittsburgh Steelers. He'll be looking to get a job at Three Rivers as a return specialist.
Been a real factor in the return game today, both on kickoff returns and punt returns.
Beckley gets it away. Another good kick that's going to go straight into the end zone. Beckley really got hold of that one. And it's going to be a touchback, so no chance of a return. And is there going to be a chance of a return for Lawrence Phillips? Welcome back to World Bowl 99 from the Rheinstadion in Dusseldorf. Nick Halling with Brian Baldinger in the commentary box. Frankfurt leading by 7.
Those skies have been raining on and off here this evening. They look dry right now.
Over.
Jake DeLong back in at quarterback. And they go on the ground. Rennie Ingoglia. The former unit fumble the balls. And who's got it? The Dragons think they've got it, and they have. That's the big break that the defense has been looking for.
They got the ball stripped out of Rennie Ingolia's hands. Scramble still is over with Kennard Hamilton and Jay Haygood. Haygood down at the bottom of that pile.
And it's the tackle that came second to the defensive back.
Yeah, and there's the Dragon fans dressed in the Rhein Fire gear. See that? Yeah. Rhein Fire jerseys and Dragon flag.
That is a huge play for the Barcelona Dragons defense. The ball recovered at the 26-yard line. Ingoglia was the ball carrier. And there it comes out.
And the ball's on the ground right there. Now the scramble is on, and from the backside you see Gregory Mallow come in, the safety. Alert from the safety position. He comes in and cradles that football.
Yeah, Marlowe got it. So Baumann back on the field. And can Barcelona take advantage of this? Baumann goes upstairs for Brian Finneran, and he can't quite pull it in. 2nd down and 10. They had the matchup with Moranto once again, but Finneran unable to haul that one in.
Well, it was double coverage with Clarence Love and Tony Moranto. He got behind Clarence Love, and then the race was on with the football and Tony Moranto. Moranto got there the same time the football did. Finneran, who caught 8 touchdown passes in the regular season, 6 of them came on passes just like that.
2nd down. Davis, the motion man. Greer in the backfield. Greer gets the carry. Greer picks up good yardage and then plows forward to the 16-yard line. He's going to be about a yard short of the 1st down marker. Still no Lawrence Phillips. Jamal Alexander on the stop.
Well, I think what they're saying is that Mario Greer, the way he is better than Lawrence Phillips at probably 60 or 70%. What I like about Lawrence Phillips right there is he is up, he's cheering for this football team, and he's into the game. The team is always still bigger and better than the individual player.
And it's going to be driving Lawrence Phillips crazy because he's lit up the league. And you mentioned A.J. Smith and John Butler from the Bills. They're watching from the sidelines, one of many teams interested in Lawrence Phillips.
Well, John Butler on the right is the general manager, and he came all the way over here to personally scout Lawrence Phillips, and hopefully when the ability to try to sign players begins tomorrow, they would like to make him an offer tomorrow. They'd like to try to sign him right away. Now there's going to be heavy competition for that man. Let's go. But they like what they see, and they think that he can be a great addition to the backs that they have in Buffalo.
But how he'd like to be playing here. A man who tore up the league record book. And he's, well 41 yards in the 1st half, but it's not been a Lawrence Phillips ball game, has it?
Well, Lawrence Phillips in week 8 had 188 yards that A.J. Smith on the right saw against the Scottish Claymores in Barcelona. And it was a 28-3 comeback, 42-35 victory against the Claymores. And Lawrence Phillips said it was the most exciting game he was ever a part of. And that's the excitement and actually the consternation of what Buffalo sees right now. They want to see Lawrence Phillips on the field. They want to see him in the big game, have a big game.
And I'm sure he does too. But right now he can only stand and watch as his teammates battle on without him. And it's been a battle. This offense has struggled as they face 3rd and short. Baumann has been incomplete. His last 5. He's got Finneran to the right. They're going to go short yardage with Mario Greer. And the Galaxy saying, no, we stuffed him. He had to get to the 15-yard line.
To be sure, he had to get that ball over the 15, and it's now spotted well short of the 15. That should bring up a 4th down.
And decision time for Jack Bicknell. It's a 32-yard field goal from there as the Buffalo Bills management team continues to look on, and Lawrence Phillips also continues to look on.
Well, those two guys were responsible for signing a guy named Doug Flutie last year for the Buffalo Bills. With the Flutie Flakes became the biggest name in the NFL a year ago. They think Lawrence Phillips can do the same thing this year. As the Dragons are held to 4th down, and in comes Jesus Angoy.
Well, Angoy nailed a 38-yarder to open the scoring.
Phillips is upset that they're not going for this on
Doubles
4th down.
Quarterback sneak, doubles quarterback sneak, doubles quarterback.
And he gets his wishes because Jack Bicknell has just put Todd Bauman back in to run the quarterback sneak.
Well, they only need about 6 inches. And this, the biggest single play of the World Bowl, and has he got it? That yellow line you saw come up there, that's where he's got to reach. Bit of technology for you.
Yeah.
And it is a first down Barcelona, and a real show of strength there from the Dragons. They had to go for that, Brian.
Well, he tucked it right behind the center, Matt Ream and the left guard, Tom Claro. And I tell you, Todd Bauman is nothing but a winner and a playmaker. And with or without Lawrence Phillips, he's going to try to win this football game.
It's without at the moment.
57.
But it's first down for the Dragons, who are looking to tie this thing up. Bauman fires, has his man. Kaipo McGuire is wrapped up, and a flag comes in late. Clarence Love with the stop. But we're going to be hearing from Peter Morelli once again.
Good tackle by Clarence Love in that play.
Face mask, number 28 on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So the call goes against Clarence Love.
And the other thing that penalty does, Nick, is it gives the Barcelona Dragons a first down. First and goal at the 5-yard line. Love, who I said, made the good tackle. A little too aggressive. He touched that face mask with his hand.
Oh, I got him. Clem, you going?
So the yellow line there showing the first down marker. It's first and goal now from the 5. Finneran is the motion man. They'd love Phillips here, but they haven't got him, and Bauman's in trouble, but runs away and just gets rid of it. Scott Dragos, the tight end, was there, but Finneran, under pressure, just had to unload. But first and goal in the 5, normally that's Lawrence Phillips territory.
Well, without Lawrence Phillips, you know, it rests with Todd Bauman, so they run him on a play-action fake. He does a great job of showing his athletic ability of avoiding the tackle of Jimmy Clemens.
Firm.
They'd like to get this ball to Brian Finneran in the back of the end zone.
Todd Bauman's numbers unimpressive. Finneran is the slot receiver. Alonzo Johnson at the bottom of the screen. McGuire at the top. They show blitz and they come after Bauman, but Bauman rides out of trouble, and he had room in front of him, but now he's going to be tackled from behind. Tony Moranto, and there was a hole there. There was a lane for Todd Bauman, and he didn't see it.
Wow, Bauman, who took a beating last week in that victory, does a great job of avoiding the blitzing linebacker right here in this play. I don't know how he gets out of this. Houdini couldn't have gotten away, I don't think, from Tony Moranto like that. Nice chase, though, by Moranto, who initially missed the tackle and then got up on his feet and chased him down, and probably said something to Todd as he tackled him.
Third down and 5. They try Finneran into slot left position this time. McGuire and Johnson, the wideouts. Bauman with time, looks, has a man. Touchdown, Barcelona.
There it is.
Finneran over Moranto. The matchup they want. And the Dragons, as we see the wives of Brian Finneran
and
Todd Bauman celebrating the hookup.
Brian Finneran with this nice touchdown catch of the season, and the biggest one of the season so far.
They made hard work of it, but they're in. And Jesus Angoy can level up World Bowl 99.
Big height advantage for him as well. About a 7-inch advantage for Brian Finneran on that play.
So Jesus Angoy will attempt the extra point. And we have a tied World Bowl with 10-10 left in the third quarter. So important that the Dragons capitalized on that Rennie Ingoglia fumble. So important that they got Brian Finneran into the ball game.
Well, you see Lawrence Phillips just congratulating Brian Finneran. It's a team game. Finneran is in the slot working against Moranto. He runs off against the outside Alonzo Johnson. Here's the height advantage. What Brian Finneran does is he goes to get the football rather than raid on it. It's a great skill that Finneran has. And at 6'6", it's going to be a huge advantage in the NFL. Erin Finneran is the girl in the blue shirt on the left. Courtney Bauman on the right.
With the X, marks the spot. They like it.
Yeah, the first one's up. Two great athletes as well right there. Courtney Bauman was a great college volleyball player, and Erin Finneran was a track star. And here's, that's Connor Bauman down the bottom wearing the Dragon sweatshirt, and that's Erin's mother.
What is this, happy families?
Oh, absolutely.
How do you know all this? How do you know all that, Brian?
Yeah, that's the whole family gang, because I spent time with the Dragons down in Sitges, Spain, which is where the Dragons live, right on the beautiful Mediterranean, and you get to know the people down there. It's that type of climate.
Now, how do they respond? McCullough getting his hands on the ball and getting past the first tackler and making positive yardage as well, and still on his feet inside Barcelona territory. Returns have been big for Frankfurt today.
Well, it's the Andy McCullough show. Finneran, all he can do is watch on that situation. 9th touchdown catch of the season for Finneran, and he's the guy that has to get involved in this offense. Only the 3rd catch of the day. But when Finneran's involved, this team wins. And there's the big family here. Now, you see the Villanova sweatshirt on his mother. He went to Villanova, right outside in Philadelphia.
And here's the Babysitters Club. You were talking about all these kids that are around down there.
Yeah, 2 kids, but 40 parents. See, all these guys are involved in taking care of the kids.
First down, Delhomme. Gets hit as he throws. The pressure came from somebody you said, where's he been the last few games? Marvin Thomas.
Well, Marvin Thomas ended up the season with 4 sacks, Nick. And that was after 5 games. I thought he was going to be the premier pass rusher in this league. He's really cooled off. That guy hasn't cooled off all season up.
Over G.
Did you see his game face 2 hours before kickoff? Nobody was going near Mike Maslowski.
See, that's Connor Finneran in the green suit. He's in the green Barcelona Dragons suit, head to toe.
2nd down and 10 from the 40. All square here. Rennie Ngolia, who fumbled last time out, doesn't fumble this time. Picks up 4.
Gutsy call giving that ball back to Rennie Ngolia after he fumbled in the last series. A costly fumble. And of course, Bart Simpson can show up anywhere. You know, but why not the World Bowl game? Now, I was watching The Simpsons in German the other day, and somehow the jokes just weren't as good.
Yeah, but you still laughed anyway. Who's going to have a laugh here? 3rd down and 6. Delhomme with time finds Todd Floyd at the 20-yard line. Floyd working over Tyrone Smith. First down, Frankfurt. That's the guy you keep saying, don't overlook Todd Floyd. We talk about Mario Bailey, we talk about Andy McCullough. Floyd can hurt you too.
Well, Jake Delhomme does a good job of standing in this pocket. Good protection. He doesn't get touched on this. Look at him lead Floyd on that play. The ball was thrown in front of him, allowing him to go after that football. Nothing Ricky Bell can do in coverage.
Good for 16 yards. And they're threatening again. Rennie Ngolia with blockers in front of him. Picks up 3 before he's stopped. Dave Thomas from the Denver Broncos came up.
We see what they do is they like to run the draw after completion because it makes the defensive line look like it's just a pass again. They bring the defensive line up the field, and then they run right behind it.
Second down.
This play is called Barcelona. And he just told Andy McCullough, if you beat him, I'll deliver the football to you, Andy McCullough, at the bottom of the screen.
And Delhomme will try and take off. Gets past Marvin Thomas, gets past Winfield Garnett, doesn't get past Mike Maslowski, and he hits the advertisers.
Yeah, you know, quarterbacks are supposed to slide to avoid the hit. But Jake gets the first down, runs out of bounds, and then he slides. A little bit too late. Now Delhomme is looking at McCullough. He's covered though. So now he has to take off the football. Now, you should slide ideally about right now. But he likes to get a little hit from Maslowski and then take out the Pilsen sign.
He got the first down as well. And his mobility is something that could get him a job in New Orleans this summer. 1st and goal. Frankfurt looking to break the tie. Play action. The rollout. And here comes that mobility again. Oh! Well, I don't care who you are. You're not going to be mobile after that. What a hit from Mike Maslowski.
Wow. That was thunderous. And that's the man that they call Stone Cold, after the wrestler Stone Cold Steve Austin. The head is shaved. The head has been shaved since 1994. It's bald. It's a dome.
33, ready.
Now you get up, you make the hit, you come back and call the signal. And then listen to this, folks. Any idea about playing quarterback? Forget it.
Big hit. Second and goal at the 3. Ingoglia, is he in? Wow. Yes, touchdown, Frankfurt.
Great surge in the middle of that line.
And Ready Ingoglia atones for that earlier fumble.
The Galaxy bought up 5,500 tickets this week to come on up here to cheer their team on, and they always make their presence felt.
The Dick Curl's team back in the lead. 6:31 left. Third quarter. Ingoglia's first touchdown as a Frankfurt Galaxy player. Ralph Kleiman with the extra point. Now the Galaxy back on top, 24-17. We're going to take a short break. Back in a moment.
It is so loud in these stands, you cannot believe it. This is the most integrated World Bowl I've ever been to. As you can see behind me, there's this mad, drunk Monarchs fan. And there's the fan here that you might remember from a couple weeks ago. Come down. Now, I don't know if you remember, this guy is Scottish. He lives in Amsterdam. He's an Admirals fan, but you've got a Barcelona Dragons jersey on. What's going on?
Well, as you see, I've got some very good friends that come from Barcelona. So they said, if we give you the shirt, will I cheer for Barcelona? And I said, only if you give me the hat too. So here I am.
Having a good time?
Oh yeah, always, every year at the World Bowl, the Admirals, the Claymores, the Rhine Fire.
I'm gonna stop you. We've got to get back to the game. Thanks for talking.
No problem.
No, forget that. I think we should go back and talk to him, find out what else he likes about it.
Well, he's obviously a prostitute, Nick, because, you know, he takes the shirt, he takes the hat, and he becomes a fan.
Yeah, that's terrible, isn't it, Brian? You wouldn't catch us being like that.
No. You can't win me for a shirt and a T-shirt.
Maguire fields at the 11-yard line. Barcelona looking to respond. Maguire, high hurdles. Gets to the 40-yard line before he's dragged down, still on his feet. Jimmy Clemens tried to strip the ball. Maguire hanging on to it. Both teams starting to return efficiently now, and that's been a feature of this game. We've had so many short fields throughout.
Well, you're exactly right. Field position hasn't been a problem for either team because neither team can defend the kickoff. Right now, Todd Bauman, you love as an offense to start your drive at the 47-yard line. You're halfway home. You're half a field, and this game is in Bauman's hands.
That was a 36-yard return.
Ray, 54.
It's still Mario Greer in the backfield, the 4 wide receiver set there for the Dragons. And Bauman with the rollout. Well, now we'll just take off and doesn't get much. Jimmy Clemens came up and hit him. Maybe a couple, that's it.
Well, Frankfurt does as many things to your defense to confuse you as anybody in this league. That time they only rushed 3 players and dropped 8 into coverage.
W orbit, the slots over left, angle. W orbit, the slots over left, angle.
W orbit, the slots over left angle. On one, right?
The play gets relayed by Todd Bauman. This will be a pass. Todd's going to call out the calling out the coverage right now. The strength is 50. Johnny Munch.
Wide, 88, hot.
Finneran is the motion man. The blitz comes. Bauman just unloads it. It was tipped and could have gone anywhere, and it's incomplete.
Slots over left, Shirley. Slots over left, Shirley.
See, Jack McNeil calls the plays, and the slots over is the formation. The Shirley is the play. I just know that a Shirley is going to be a pass.
Shirley on one, right?
Just by studying the playbook and talking to Jack McNeil and Todd Bauman over the year. And right now, they're in a passing mode. The 3rd down and 8, you've got to put this ball in the air to move the chains and get that first down.
And Bauman having a tough time. Hasn't even cracked 100 yards yet. And they're showing blitz again, the Galaxy. And they're coming. And Bauman's going to have to work here. Incomplete.
Frankfurt doing a really good job of mixing up their defenses and their coverages to try to confuse Todd Bauman and put pressure on him.
And for a team that doesn't have a reputation as a blitzing team, Jack McNell is probably wondering what's happening with this Frankfurt defense, which has played contain all year, but they're aggressive today, which is why we're seeing so much of Jeff Beckley and why we're seeing so much of Sean Scales. And it's a good kick from Beckley once again that's going to be down at the 2-yard line by Samir Hamoudi, the Frenchman. So for a change, the Frankfurt Galaxy will have a long field to play with as we go back to Kevin and Mike. As we pick up the flag on the last play.
Personal foul against Alonzo Hampton on that particular punt return. They backed the ball up half the distance to the goal. So that penalty was 1.5 yards, Nick. They went from the 3-yard line, and they start now first down at the 1.5. And this is a huge pressure situation for both teams. Barcelona would like to pin them down here, and Frankfurt would love the big play here to get out.
Delhomme is still in at quarterback. They need a stand defensively, Barcelona. Delhomme will air it out. You know who's under that one. McCullough couldn't get it. They had him bracketed. Greg Marlowe was there just to make sure it was broken up. And he had help from Ricky Bell, and it's incomplete.
Well, Barcelona came after him aggressively with the blitz. Dante DePaulo came off the corner. And one-on-one on the outside, but with help from the safety, going for Andy McCullough. And that has been the story here for Barcelona. Can this team win without the play and the assistance and the talent of Lawrence Phillips?
So far, they're still in it. Floyd to the top of the screen. McCullough now switches to the left at the bottom of the screen. Second down and long. The draw play, Jermaine Chaney does well. Gets out to the 8-yard line, working behind his blockers. That's going to bring up third down and around 5.
It's a big play for Rennie to get that ball off the goal line and give Jake Delhomme a little breathing room.
Left out, got it left out, 960 speedy, London. Be smart. Be ready for it.
960 is the protection. That's going to tell the offensive line where to go and where to protect. Now they're going to run the speeding to London. Look for both Mario Bailey in the slot and Andy McCullough at the bottom of the screen to be open.
A big third down for both teams. Kadar Hamilton switches his coverage. Delhomme with a lot of time has the big man, Werner Hippler. Hippler does just enough to pick up the first down. The outlet receiver that they didn't cover, and Werner celebrates.
You know, Werner, 4 years now with the Frankfurt Galaxy as a crowd favorite. That gets the flags flying. An important play here. You're going to see at the bottom of the screen, Werner Hippler is going to run a drag route. He's going to cross the field, wait for everybody to clear out. Mario Bailey, Andy McCullough leaves him wide open. Nice picture right there of how he got open.
They need to get to the yellow line for another first down. Can they do it with Jermaine Chaney? Yes, they can. 16 yards before Greg Marlowe was there to stop him with help from Kadar Hamilton.
They like to throw the football to set up the run. And right now, Dick Curl is going to run that same play again probably. Because when he has success one time like that with Jermaine Chaney, he likes to come right back to it. That's just a draw. Good blocking downfield. All the Frankfurt Galaxy defenders are covered up.
And it's a first down Frankfurt, and this Dragon defense has been on the field a long time, and it's starting to wear down. Chaney will try and punish him even more. Gets a great block that takes Maslowski out of the game. Another 13 yards, another Frankfurt first down. Did you see the block on Mike Maslowski that sprung that one?
Well, I see Juan Porter, the center, was downfield along with the left guard right now. Robert Barr, number 64. Nice job of pulling out and leading Jermaine Chaney. That's Barr right there.
Over 9 red, ready.
Robert Barr from Nassau Community College and Rutgers University.
Line.
Spent some time in the league.
And they're close to midfield after starting at their own 1.5-yard line. Chaney again, trying to soften them up. Flag comes in, the offensive backfield after a pickup of 3. Dante DePaula was there on the stop, so too was Jason Suttle, but it's a hold against Frankfurt.
Well, that hurts because that's going to back them up 10 yards, make it first down and 20 yards. So Dan Palmer, the right guard.
Number 86 on the offense.
That's Werner Hippler,
penalty.
the tight end.
Still, first down.
Well, Dan Palmer was right guard. He pulled out on the play. You're wired today. We can hear from Jake Delhomme, as we've heard from, of course, Dick Curl, backup quarterback, Bat Barnes, and then on the defense, Corey Gilliard, who leads this team in tackles.
I'm sure Werner Hippel is going to be hearing from Dick Curl after that hold as well.
That puts them into a long situation here, but they have 4 downs to pick it up.
McCullough and Floyd to the top of the screen. Mario Bailey is to the bottom, and there's not much doing on the draw play. Although a great second effort from Jermaine Chaney. Somehow he squirted away after being wrapped up. Dave Thomas eventually with the stop. Maslowski was there as well. But this defense is wearing down, Brian.
Well, you saw right there Mike Maslowski having a hard time getting off the field, getting up from that, making that tackle.
He wasn't saying too much either.
Over G, 33.
He said he hasn't really felt good since the 4th week of the season, Nick. He's got a pulled thigh muscle. You see that collar on the back of his neck right there? He's got a neck burner, and his hands are beat up right now.
7 yards for Chaney. Second down and 13.
Blue, 28, hit.
DeLong dropping back, has time again, has a man. Todd Floyd wrapped up after a pickup of 6. Maslowski.
No, what I like from Jake DeLong on this drive is it was 1st and 20, and they're just taking what they give him. And Mike Maslowski, who he said, been banged up, limping right now, trying to get off the field. Part of it is he's just exhausted, and the other part is that leg is really bothering him. We talked about those 19 tackles
that is awesome
back in week 5.
League.
Most of any player in this league this year.
3rd down and 8. Can the Dragons hold them? Can Jake DeLong keep it alive? DeLong has time. He has Todd Floyd, who takes the hit from Ricky Bell, but he has the 1st down.
Wow, what a throw by DeLong. Unbelievable catch by Todd Floyd, knowing coming across the middle that he was going to get train wrecked, and he does. Floyd working one-on-one against Jason Suttle. Pushes off him just a little bit to get some separation. Now he knows he's going to get popped. And he got flipped, but he held on to the football. Gutsy, courageous play by Floyd. Frankfurt gets the 1st down and holds on to the ball.
And it keeps the drive alive at the end of the 3rd quarter. Well, if you've only just joined us, you missed quite an entrance. No, that is not Brian Ballinger making his way to the commentary box. That is Rocket Man.
Yeah,
even you wouldn't try this, would you?
Well, I could do that without the jetpack, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that ability. No, that's got to be kind of a gutsy thing right there. You know, I mean, like, where are the wings? I love the football in the middle like that.
Yeah,
though.
Yeah,
I don't want to go to the moon that way.
as well. Perfect landing. But you know what, as we look at this game, as the evening skies continue to darken here in Dusseldorf, I think this is the pivotal drive of the ball game. The Galaxy started on their own 2. They have that 7-point lead, and I think if they punch this one in, it could be big trouble for Barcelona.
Well, the defense has been on the field a long time. Remember, this drive at one time, they were 1st and 20, and they got all 20 in the 1st down.
Can Jake DeLong keep it rolling? They'll try on the ground. Jermaine Chaney plows his way to the 35-yard line before he's tackled. A helmet comes flying off.
Yeah, somebody lost their head down there. Jared
Loggins.
And you see, when you got a head like that, you know, you got to have a helmet. You got to cover that thing up. That's not pretty hair.
Well, we saw Rocket Man coming into World Bowl 99. He made a previous appearance, of course, in Super Bowl #1. It's not the same guy. There's no way it's the same guy, surely.
Well, I'll tell you what, that would be a heck of a career. If you're coming in 1967 to Super Bowl I, and then coming in here in 1999.
Jake DeLong trying to keep the Galaxy flying with play action. Gets away from trouble. There's that escapability again. It brings another Galaxy 1st down. There's the slide. He saw Tristan Moss coming and he said, I want no part of that. And he slid and he picked up another 10 and a 1st down.
This is a great drive engineered by Jake DeLong. He's finding the open receiver. They're mixing in the run right now. They started this drive at the 2-yard line. They're wearing down this Dragon defense.
You see that? Like 63 on 1. Ready?
He said, you feel it, I feel it. He just told his team, we've got the mojo on our side. We got momentum on our side. Keep it going.
Rennie and Ngoglia checking into the backfield. 1st down. Ngoglia gets the carry. Ngoglia with a big hole in front of him. He gets inside the 10 to the 9. And the Dragons are falling apart here.
Well, I think what you just said, Nick, is exactly right. The Dragons are dragging. And that's because, give credit up front to this offensive line that is taking charge of this football game. You see Juan Porter, the center, along with Robert Barr, the left guard. Right there, Rennie Ngoglia. 2 ways to go, right or left. And then almost like a bowling ball at the end of the play.
Run!
1st down and goal. On the ground again, Igoglia gets a couple before he's gang tackled.
All right, let's go now, Jake. Let's be good at it now. Just think about what you got. Okay. Go right out, 25 naked slam.
Right out, 25 naked slam on one. Ready?
Oh, this is a bootleg here for Jake Delhomme.
Ready?
They scored a lot of touchdowns on this particular play. He's going to fake it to line and then pull the ball out.
Second down, there it is. Now he'll roll, now he'll look for the end zone. Mario Bailey's got it, touchdown Frankfurt. What a drive. That is a World Bowl winning drive.
Mario Bailey with his 26th career touchdown catch. And in World Bowls, his 3rd touchdown catch in 4 World Bowls. And what a culmination. The Frankfurt Galaxy's most popular player in his 5th season here in Frankfurt, a crowd favorite. He said in week 6, Nick, he said, I want to rent Rheinstadion and have the World Bowl there. I want to be there and win it.
Well, Ralph Kleiman, he's been a non-story tonight, and he continues to be a non-story. And with 12:26 left, the Galaxy have a 14-point lead thanks to that catch from Super Mario Bailey. So much of it on the ground as well, Mike, which is a real sign that this Barcelona defense is starting to wear down. 13 plays, 98 yards. Delhomme pretty much perfect on the drive as well.
75 of those 98 yards, though, Nick, were on the ground, wearing down that defense.
Alonzo Johnson, how the Dragons need a return here, and they're not going to get one. Craig Guest and Jimmy Clemens said, forget that.
Well, all day long, that kickoff return has been there for both teams. That time, Guest takes care of it. And Mario Bailey, simply the most productive receiver in the history of this league. Working against Tristan Moss, just works himself across the field. He's slippery in the middle of the field. Just looking for, look at how soft he lands, how easy he catches the ball. He's just taking Tristan Moss into the soup, Nick. That means he's running him in interference. He runs him into the referee, finds the open spot, and Delhomme on the naked slam finds him.
Still amazes me, he never got back in the league. Baumann. With time, but nowhere to go. Now he's in trouble. Kendrick Golston's applying the heat, and Baumann gets rid of it, finds a wide open Kaipo Maguire, first down. But there was great improvisation from Baumann and good smarts from Kaipo Maguire as well.
Well, I remind you, well, Mario Bailey, of course, his 3rd World Bowl touchdown catch. We talked about that. First tonight, and he's been a Barcelona Dragon killer over the years.
Whit Marshall, who made the tackle, checking out of the lineup.
57,
the Dragons
57.
need a touchdown on this drive. There's no question about that. There's still plenty of time. But Baumann, he has time, and a flag comes in. He finds a man, Mario Greer, who's done sterling work in relief. And he'll get 7 in relief of Lawrence Phillips, but we'll have to check out the call.
Holding. Number 60 on the offense. 10-yard penalty.
That's the center, Matt Riemann. That's a real
first
signal.
down.
Well, it hurts him. No, but Todd Baumann right now can't worry about play calling. He can't worry about the fact that Lawrence Phillips isn't in this game, or they're going to get backed up here on first down.
Look at those numbers. I mean, that just says it all, doesn't it? That is the Phillips factor right there.
Well, he was dominant in that first quarter when he was in there. Scored the first touchdown of the game.
And since then, Frankfurt have pretty much had the edge in this ball game.
Well, without him, they're a one-dimensional team. They throw the ball best after that.
First down and 20. Finneran, who's been kept pretty quiet despite that touchdown, is the motion man. They'll try a draw play. And Mario Greer will get some yardage here before he's run out by Corey Gilliard. That'll bring up second down and long. Somebody's losing interest.
Yeah, it's probably a Barcelona Dragon fan. No, but you got to be careful when you're sitting on the steps right there, because anytime a Rheinfire fan is in your path, you never know where they're going to step.
Second down and 9 after the 11-yard run from Mario Greer. So they've wiped off the penalty. And what can Baumann come up with here? He has a man, Kaipo Maguire. Wow.
Great catch.
Great catch from Maguire.
Great catch by Kaipo Maguire.
Slots over right, W option. Slots over right, W
Well, in
option.
the absence of Lawrence Phillips and in the absence of Marco Martos, everybody's got to play here, and Maguire really stepped up.
Well, Maguire working on the outside against Alonzo Hampton. Alonzo Hampton just got lost. He was looking inside the whole way, thinking somebody else was outside to cover him.
Maguire allocated from the Indianapolis Colts. Had a few drops early in the year. Nothing wrong with that. And the drive stays alive. The pressure comes, and Baumann looks the other way. And he's got a man. It's Alonzo Johnson. Jake Delhomme leading the protest that he was out of bounds.
Jake Delhomme said only 1 foot was in bounds.
Look at that.
See, he's not done playing for the day. Even if Pat Barnes takes over the rest of the game, Delhomme says, look, I'm right on top of it. 1 field, only 1 foot was in bounds. In pro football, you need 2 feet in bounds. That's the spirit and intensity of everybody on these sidelines.
Jake Delhomme says only 1 foot was down. The officials think otherwise. There was all kind of movements at the line, and a flag comes in. 2 flags now. And Mario Greer, who never thought he'd be doing this today, plows his way for a couple. But the entire Frankfurt defensive line jumped. Were they drawn, is the question.
Todd Baumann using a hard count, an unrhythmic count, going hut, 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 like that, and he draws them off sides.
Well, all 4 of them moved, didn't they?
Offside, number 75 on the defense. 5-yard penalty.
They call the German, Marcus Richter. But they could have called just about any number there.
Was offside.
Yeah.
Right now, Todd Baumann is finding a rhythm.
Hitch and go, I'm wondering.
Hitch and go, that means it's going to be a pump fake and try to go deep with this football.
No,
If he gets protection.
We're under 10 minutes left in World Bowl 99. The Dragons down by 14, but looking to get themselves back in it. They're at the Frankfurt 42.
It's Kaipo Maguire right here in hitch and go.
Baumann looks in the direction of Maguire.
He's got a catch.
What a catch! That is a great catch, and the second great catch on the drive from Kaipo Maguire.
Todd Baumann said, hitch and go for it. He used great athletic ability to reach him, and Maguire coming up. Watch the hitch here against Alonzo Hampton. That's the hitch, the stop, and now the go. Now you got to hit a burst. 40 yards on this play. Look at him lay out for that football.
And it's just a great, no question about it.
Watch Todd Baumann fake it here. Now he has to pull it down because of some pressure. Nice touch on the deep ball.
Well, they're in Phillips territory again, so they'll go to Mario Greer. He's in. Touchdown, Barcelona. The perfect response from the Dragons.
Nick, you said it was paramount that this Dragon team score on this drive, and they answer the call. And that's the guts and the heart of this Dragon team that won this league with the 7-3 record. They were down 15-0 in the 4th quarter of Frankfurt in week 5 and came back and won that game in overtime. No quit in the Barcelona Dragons.
It'll go down as a 3-yard run from Mario Greer in the record books. What it won't tell you is it was set up by an outstanding 40-yard catch from Kaipo Maguire. And Jesus Angoy needs the extra point now.
Jack McDowell favors the deep ball. He likes the big play, and they got it on that drive.
And the kick from Angoy sails through. And we have a 7-point ball game with 8 minutes and 58 seconds left. This one really starting to boil up. The question is, of course, what can Barcelona's defense do next? Because that was a defense that must have had Jack McNell worried last time out. They allowed a 98-yard Frankfurt drive, most of it on the ground. But is he going to engineer yet another one of those comebacks?
Well, they've been big in the 4th quarter. They had 2 4th quarter comebacks this year against the Galaxy. None bigger than in week 5 with a 15-point comeback.
Returns have been a key factor today. What does Sean Scales do here? Nothing. And he's down by Cam Quayle at the 20-yard line. That's where his forward progress was stopped. And Quayle, another player that's taken full advantage of special team situations, the man from the Jaguars. But Maguire, well, we've all been hard on him. He's dropped a few balls this year, but on that drive, 2 huge catches.
Well, Kaipo Maguire right there from the Indianapolis Colts. Huge on that big 40-play hitch and go down the left sideline that got that team in position to score that touchdown and get him firmly back in his football game.
Well, the Galaxy marched 98 yards last time, but that was with Jake Delhomme. Pat Barnes is in now. The switch has been made again. And it's Barnes' game to win. On the ground, Rennie Ngoglia will lose yardage. He's gag tackle. A swarming mass of green read that one all the way. Kendrick Burton probably the first man there, but he had a lot of help.
Well, that's a good play and a good start for the Barcelona Dragons defense. Now, I remind you, Pat Barnes, in his time, threw 8 interceptions this year. He has a habit of trying to force the football. Little hitch right there by the center, Juan Porter. That ball was almost fumbled by Rennie Ngoglia.
He's already fumbled once. He's out. Jermaine Shaky's in. Second and long. Barnes will throw. Barnes is hit as he throws, and he's got a man wide open, and it's Todd Floyd again. You can cover McCullough, you can cover Bailey, and when you do, that guy gets wide open.
Well, Pat Barnes, who I said has thrown 8 interceptions, also has made a number of huge plays this year because of his escapability. The ability to buy some time, make people get off him and miss, and run away and buy some time to find the open receiver.
Well, it's the two-headed monster. Everyone says it can't work, but it does work for this team. It's worked all season for them.
He moved.
All kinds of stuff going on. You can hear Mike Milowski saying, he moved. But everybody does that when there's a flag at the line of scrimmage like that.
The snap was on 2. And people moved on both sides of the ball on 1.
Well, Winfield Garnett certainly jumped for the Dragons, but Maslowski, as you heard, saying somebody moved on Dick Curl's Frankfurt offensive line.
And Nick, in this noise, it is so difficult to hear down there on the field. It's hard to hear those signals, even if you're right next to the quarterback.
Encroachment. Defense, number 51.
It goes against Maslowski.
Still, first down.
Maslowski is claiming that the offensive player moved first, and then all he did was react. You see it right here.
Well, it's not Maslowski, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's Winfield Garnett in the middle.
It's either Garnett or Marvin Thomas. It is not Mike Maslowski. He's not over the line of scrimmage yet.
They get all bunched up in there sometimes. It's hard to find the right guy.
So, 1st and 5.
Move 5. Q8.
Barnes with a lot of time again, and it was almost picked off. It was looking for Floyd, and Jason Suttle came in and broke it up. And another flag.
Dick Carl won't be happy with that audible call by Pat Barnes. He took the run off. Instead, on 1st and 5, he went for a big play, almost got a pick. And Dick Carl, every time he calls a play in to Pat Barnes, he says, please, Pat, be careful. Don't do anything silly or aggressive with the ball.
The flag disappeared back in an official's pocket, by the way, so it remains 2nd and 5.
Silver 8.
What can Barnes do here? He'll throw again. The pressure comes. Barnes is hit, and down is Marvin Thomas. A man of whom you said, where's he been the last few weeks?
Well, I saw the defensive line coach, Sam Clancy, talking to the defensive line before this drive. And he said, fellas, if we're going to step up and knock this team out, we have to start making some plays.
H wide right. H wide right. It's 860 Jets, H over.
And a loss of 11 yards on the play brings up a 3rd down and 16 now.
Well, they had 1st and 5, Dick, and now they're 3rd and 16. Pat has made 2 bad decisions with the football.
And this play is critical for both teams. Barnes drops, looks in the direction of a receiver who picks it up. What a great catch. Andy McCullough, inevitably.
Well, that's your MVP of this game so far tonight. On 3rd and 16, Barnes calmly found the biggest play receiver on this football team with 2 touchdowns in tonight. And tonight, on this play, 37 yards, working one-on-one against Ricky Bell. A little stutter move. He got inside him, and now the ball's thrown outside, away from the defender. Tremendous concentration by McCullough bringing this ball in.
1st down. On they go, around they go. Jermaine Cheney bounces away from would-be tacklers and plows inside to the 25-yard line. A pickup of 8, second down and 2 coming up.
And Nick, that is a defensive killer right there. On 3rd and 16, giving up the 37-yard completion to McCullough. That will absolutely break the defense.
Look at those numbers. That's MVP numbers.
Well, Andy McCullough, who was originally drafted by the New Orleans Saints, but picked up by the Miami Dolphins and the Cincinnati Bengals, has found a home in Arizona, and believe me, they will like him this fall.
He may stick there. Second down, back on the ground. Cheney squirts through a hole and has a lot of running room ahead of him. He gets down to the 10. Dante DePaula and Kadar Hamilton on the stop. First down, Frankfurt once again. 16 yards.
Give this offensive line credit, because this running game in the second half, Nick, is now winning the battle for the Frankfurt Galaxy. Up front, they are wearing down this Dragon defense. They did in the last series. That's Bobby Bicknell. That's Jack Bicknell's son right there, the offensive line coach, and the same intensity that his father demonstrates. Working the gum and looking at Danny Finn and Juan Porter in the middle.
Well, what Jake Delhomme did, Pat Barnes is doing here. Another impressive drive. Cheney down to the 7.
And ever since that 3rd and 16 completion, Andy McCullough right here, this Frankfurt Galaxy offensive line is winning the trenches right in the middle.
And just look at what they've done on the ground. A team that has struggled all year, whether it's Jermaine Cheney or Mark Kakmarinsky, who got injured and replaced by Rennie Ngoglia. They've not had anybody who can carry the ball effectively for them, except for tonight.
See Maslowski in the middle? He was just bending over, trying to grab some extra wind right now. Every time you see the defense with their hands on their knees bending over, they're tired.
These Dragons must be thinking turnover. They need something. Barnes rolls out, pursued by Barry Mitchell. But did he pull it in? It's not been ruled yet. Now it has. It's a touchdown. Andy McCullough with his 3rd of the night.
A record performance for Andy McCullough.
Jack Bicknell can barely believe what he's seen, but that has just torn up the World Bowl record book. Most points, most total points for a team in a World Bowl, and possibly a World Bowl winning catch too. Kleinman. He tacks on the extra point, and we're back to a 14-point ball game with 3:18 left. And if you're in any doubt as to who's the MVP of this game, it's Andy McCullough, surely.
Well, I said from the very beginning tonight that Andy McCullough had his own agenda, that he was a determined player because he felt he was snubbed this week when they came out with the All-NFL Europe team, and he wasn't part of the first-team wide receivers. And bunch formation with Mario Bailey. Just a back of the end zone right here off the bootleg. But watch the height and the aggressiveness of McCullough.
What a
and
great
the concentration.
Catch. How did he get that?
He never stopped believing that he could catch that football. Barnes, who dangerously put his ball up almost for grabs here, Nick, had confidence in McCullough.
That's the catch of the season, Brian.
That is amazing. This ball gets tipped, Nick, 3 times here on this play before he finally controls it down around his knees, laying on the ground. Tipped once, tipped twice, Nick. Tipped the 3rd time and finally caught. He'll remember that catch for a long time, as Andy McCullough right now with 6 catches, 151s and 3 touchdowns. And his whole team felt like he was snubbed. Mario Bailey said, I shouldn't be on the first-team All-NFL Europe if Andy McCullough isn't.
And you know what? He's right. Alonzo Johnson. He's got to find something special here. And he bounces outside and has a hole as well. And he gets to midfield and past midfield and into Frankfurt territory. Well, you said it earlier, Brian, there's no quit in these Dragons, but 3:08 left and 14 points adrift. Surely this man has done enough for his team.
Watch the concentration. We said the ball's tipped 3 times. It's tipped once. It's knocked out by Ricky Bell. It's tipped twice. It's hit by Maslowski. Now watch this concentration, squeezing that ball before it gets to the ground. That's his 2nd tough catch in the end zone tonight, where he was juggling the ball but held on all the way. That ball's not going to get out of that left hand either. That ball's going home with him.
The officials had a long look at that one. You can see why as well. but a good call and an outstanding catch. Now they find Brian Finneran, who gets away from Derek Stry, but doesn't get much. He's wrapped up by Clarence Love.
Well, the knock on Brian Finneran, even though he was the second leading receiver in this league this year, is he can't get deep. Andy McCullough can.
Well, you compare Andy McCullough against Brian Finneran in the World Bowl, and there's no question who's had the outstanding game. Just look at those numbers.
Let's have a barbecue ready, Dad. Have a barbecue ready. I'm the best receiver.
There you go. He said it. I'm the best receiver.
He was here to prove it tonight.
Motivated for this game.
Tremendous fans here in Rheinstadion, Frankfurt Galaxy. Great following throughout the year. Quieted those Barcelona Dragon fans taking over this stadium.
Well, they haven't had a World Bowl to shout about since 1995, that rainy night in Amsterdam. But surely here.
It's a nose tackle, Vince Amy, who's been bothered by an ankle sprain all season long. Valiant effort tonight, limps off the field. He won't feel that pain if they can secure this victory.
Second down for Barcelona. Again, only a touchdown will do. This time they need it real fast. Bauman will take off and throw and find to B.G. Davis, or is it Pitts?
That's an interception. It is interception by
Love has got it.
Clarence Love of the Philadelphia Eagles. With his first interception of the season and only the fourth interception all year by the Galaxy.
And if it was tough for the Dragons before, it's mission impossible now. Todd Bauman must know it. Those fans know it. The World Bowl is heading to Frankfurt.
Got three wide receivers to the right. Brian Finneran in the middle. To B.D. Davis inside. To B.D. Davis all the way for this. That's Carlos Rosado, who slipped on the play.
And got open as well. Bauman didn't look for him. And has paid a heavy price. First down for Frankfurt. Barnes gives to Jermaine Chaney. Jermaine Chaney stays on his feet. And eventually is still on his feet. What a run from Chaney. Just outdid Greg Marlowe for pure speed. And this Dragon defense is on its knees.
We talked earlier tonight, Nick, it was 75 degrees at kickoff time, very humid. These guys are playing hard for the trophy. Because you don't get many opportunities to win a championship playing sports. And when you're close and you have a chance to squeeze it, you get everything it's got. Jermaine Chaney, 22 yards in that carry.
Number 22.
He's going to run again. Play number 25, going to go right off the left side of the line right here.
They say went out of bounds at the 46-yard line. First down. Chaney again. Not a bad day to have a career day for Jermaine Chaney, who's been a bit overlooked with the Andy McCullough show that's been going on, but this fella's really stepped up as well.
Had a big touchdown last year in the World Bowl, but it wasn't enough as the Rhein Fire were able to beat them.
And the MVP vote has come in, and it's Andy McCullough that's got it. Chaney, 110 yards tonight, but no question, and I'm sure Jack McNell wouldn't argue with it either. Andy McCullough has been the star of World Bowl 99.
Well, the offense without Lawrence Phillips still able to put up 24 points on the board. The defense, who gave up 59 points, a league record just 2 weeks ago to the Rhein Fire, really falling apart at the end of the season. A lot of that was due to a number of injuries that they incurred throughout the season. But Dick Curl, who was part of that World Bowl victory 2 years ago with Jack McNell and these Barcelona Dragons, trying to win his first championship.
So just be smart, all right?
Dick Curl says it, just be smart. Coach of the year, 2 years running.
Well, he told me before the game, he said, Brian, I think I've squeezed more out of this team than I ever thought that I could. 6-4 finish, World Bowl berth, and now a World Bowl championship. I think it was a big help this year, bringing in Joe Clark, the offensive coordinator from the Amsterdam Admirals. Joe Clark believes in throwing the football, and I give Dick Curl a lot of credit for giving up some of his ego for Joe Clark to call the plays, and they work very well together. But it's all about the prize. It's all about the World Bowl championship.
41 pounds of crystal that is heading to Frankfurt.
Right?
Rennie Ingoglia is in the backfield on second down and 5. Ingoglia gets the carry. He'll be close to first down yardage. A second effort will get him even closer. He's just short. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Now this offensive line gets a lot of credit, Nick. Right there, I'm looking at Todd Stewart, 79. Werner Hippler, right here from Frankfurt in 5th season with the Galaxy. He's been to 4 World Bowls. Couple with Ernie Stautner. That's Dan Finn, the left guard, and Robert Barr. These are all offensive linemen that have been beating up on Mike Maslowski, the leading tackler in this league, and this defense.
Oh, what a contrast. One team knows that barring something absolutely extraordinary, the championship is theirs, and Brian Finneran and his teammates will know they need a miracle.
Yeah, well, for Brian Finneran, this league has helped him out, though, Nick. He was released by the Seattle Seahawks last year. He wanted to use this league as a stepping stone, a springboard into the NFL, and he's going to sign an NFL contract in the next month.
Barcelona.
Rumor has it Philadelphia are very interested.
Team timeout.
Andy Reid, a new system, new coach from the Green Bay Packers, building a young offensive receiving core, brought in a couple of receivers this year. Brandon Noble, I think, has helped himself out this year. 5 sacks going to the Dallas Cowboys, who's been depleted at defensive tackle. Leon Lett was suspended. And Artie Smith was released. Brandon Noble using this league to work on both his volleyball game that he perfects on the beach daily.
That's down in Sitges.
In Sitges. But also working up a good sweat here tonight. Been the heart and soul of this defensive line for 2 years in a row now. Was with the San Francisco 49ers last year and released and signed by the Dallas Cowboys. Believes he has a great chance.
This is still a story. How different would it have been if a fully healthy Lawrence Phillips had been available to Jack McNell?
Well, Lawrence Phillips said, you know what, I'm a different running back now and a better running back than I was when I was drafted with the 6th pick in the draft 3 years ago by the St. Louis Rams. I mean, when he was with the Rams, Nick, he was 240 pounds. He's now 210. And he's streamlined and he's faster and quicker. He has to show people that he can stay healthy.
Plus all the other baggage that comes with him. I wouldn't even pretend to say I know Lawrence Phillips, but there is a suggestion from people around him that this man has grown up a little bit in recent years.
Nick, when he was first drafted, he was only 21 years old. He was very immature and very young. He's 24. He's been through a lot. I think he's matured and grown up.
3rd and inches. They'll give it to Ingoglia, whose second effort gets it. That'll take us to the 2-minute warning, and the Dragons cannot stop the clock after that, despite that heroic effort from Mike Maslowski to bust up the play. Ingoglia just slipped underneath him. And there's a man that doesn't deserve to be on a losing side, but the Dragons have just 2 minutes left to turn it around. 2 minutes left for Jack McNell to find a miracle from somewhere. He has no timeouts, and the World Bowl, all 41 pounds of it, surely heading for Frankfurt.
Jack McNell, who enjoyed his first winning record with the Dragons since 1991, when they went 8-2 and lost that World Bowl. Lost that to the London Monarchs.
Correct.
21-0, Nick.
There's a Monarchs fan right there, right on cue.
Yeah. No, Monarch fans, they won't go away. You know, there's still a faithful following from Crystal Palace to Chelsea and everywhere else.
Dad, I'll be home. I love everybody. Son, I told you, baby.
And the Galaxy just 2 minutes away from the franchise's 2nd World Bowl, and this man's first as a head coach.
Yeah, I hear you.
Todd Baumann, without Lawrence Phillips, he couldn't do it all on his own. First down. They'll keep it going. Cheney will pick up another 6. Jermaine Cheney's had a good night. He's still fighting for it.
Yeah, and that will put the Frankfurt Galaxy over 200 yards rushing tonight. Over 6 yards a carry, and you know, you're not going to win many games when you're giving up 6 yards a rush.
Dragons defense that was giving up an average of just 128 yards a carry. It's just been roasted tonight, and most of it has come in the second half. That 98-yard drive, I go back to that, Brian, that was the killer.
No question about it, because they had chances to knock him out and stop him on that case.
Somebody's going to get wet any second now.
Yeah, and Dick Curl will take it. Now, the key to getting wet here is to be able to creep up on the head coach.
As Cheney plows his way for the first down.
First down.
That'll do
First
it.
down.
See now, Vince
Well,
Amy,
here it comes.
95's got a bad ankle. He can't afford any sort of trip with that ankle.
And they got him.
Oh, they got him good.
Oh, they
See
got
that?
him. Vince Amy and Mario Sischka. Dick Curl is soaked.
Dick Curl, who spends his offseason in Ocean City, New Jersey, will have a good trip back to the Garden State this week.
This will be the last act of World Bowl 99. And the Frankfurt Galaxy, emphatic winners. Andy McCullough, an MVP performance. No drama from Ralph Kleinman. And Dick Curl, the supreme moment.
Jake Delhomme has a lot to do with it. These two guys who coached together for over 20 years, best of friends. Very polite in victory and defeat. Delhomme can't believe it. Never been part of a championship in his entire life. That's Todd Stewart, the right tackle, who had a great game this evening. Part of that 200-yard rushing effort by the Galaxy. And you know, when you win, when you're the winning coach, people come to find you to congratulate you.
And these Galaxy fans are certainly going to celebrate long into the night. We see Jake Delhomme. And Brian, what do we say as we see Pat Barnes? This two quarterbacks thing. Everyone says it can't work, but it has worked.
Well, it has worked, and it's been the difference making that work. You got to give credit to Dick Curl right there, and Mario Bailey, who believed in both of these guys from the beginning. And when everybody said that it couldn't work, they stayed with it. Because what Dick Curl said was, both Barnes and Delhomme will come over here to get reps, and I want both these guys to play.
And play they did.
And look at them. See, they're both still together. All three quarterbacks there, Bauman and Barnes and Delhomme all together.
It's going to be quite a party here in Dusseldorf tonight, Brian.
Yeah. It's the linebacker coach for the Galaxy right there, Yogi, got his two kids.
He'll be taking a ring home with him as well. A special night for the best supported team in NFL Europe, the Frankfurt Galaxy. They averaged 36,000 fans per game this year.
And the word is for next year, Nick, that the World Bowl will be held in Frankfurt next year. Maybe a chance for the Galaxy to go to another World Bowl and a chance to maybe repeat, but the Frankfurt Galaxy, the first team in this league, the history of the league, to win 2 World Bowls. One with Ernie Staudter, and now one with Dick Curl.
So the celebrations continue. Brian, you and I have done a lot of talking tonight. I'll tell you 2 guys who haven't done a lot of talking tonight, and 2 guys who I know love to talk at any opportunity. Kevin Cadle and Mike Carlson. Let's bring them in. And fellas, I think we have to say on the night, the right result. But how big was that Lawrence Phillips factor?
I thought the factor was major in the contest because it was still a ball game. And then you not only lose the athletic ability, but you lose your team leader, you lose your best player, you lose the guy that people have been talking about and going to all year. And it's a big downer, and there was nobody that could pick the team up, and there was nobody that did pick this squad up. And so it was a sign of disaster.
You know, it wasn't until the 4th quarter when they absolutely had to move the ball that they got their passing game going. And, that is completely the result of not having Phillips in there to distract the other team's defense.
Well, I think, Mike, all year long, this team has relied on the heroics of Lawrence Phillips. And it's been a big play team. And when he makes the big play, it galvanizes everybody.
Well, I think Bob Bicknell, the Frankfurt offensive line coach, is somewhere in that scrum. So, too, is our 5'2" heroine, Gia Milinovic. Gia.
Bob, what is your father going to say to you when you get home?
Well, he's happy for me, and I know he's proud of me, and he's happy for Coach Curl, too. So it's more, I think we had a great battle, we had a great season, and we both made it to the big game, and that's important to us. So, he'll be happy. He's a little bit down for his players and for himself, but he's happy for me, I know.
So how does it feel feel to win? Just describe what it feels
Well,
like.
it's unbelievable. I mean, this league is so competitive, and every player and every team, every coach, they're all the same type of people, and it's just, you know, getting guys to play and get the wins, and that's what's important. But I'll tell you, it's such a competitive league. It's such a great league to be in. It feels great.
Andy McCullough was fantastic today, was he not?
Yeah, he's unbelievable. He's a great football player. And he probably will not play in this league, you know, after this year. This is probably his last year because he's going to be in the NFL. But he's the type of player that goes on and does a great job. And there'll be other Andy McCulloughs and other great players that come in and make this league. I mean, it's just a great league.
Great. Well, congratulations. Enjoy the night.
Okay. All right.
Thanks for talking.
So the Galaxy players continue their celebrations.
You know, Nick, that Bob McNell's offensive line did a tremendous job today. You know, and they were the guys who wore Barcelona down.
Yeah, Mike, I was just looking at the stats from last week's game against the Dragons. Frankfurt only ran the ball for 52 yards a week ago. They ran it for over 200 yards tonight, and a lot of credit has to go to that offensive line, especially on that 98-yard drive, Mike, where 75 of those yards came on the ground, and that's when they really broke the sword of these Barcelona Dragons.
And you know, we talk about them running down and Pat Barnes being the guy who makes the big plays, but Jake Delhomme had about 5 scrambles in his 2 quarters, gained probably about 60 yards on those scrambles, and they were what kept drives alive. And when Barcelona, the few times they had everything covered, it was Delhomme who made the difference, and no one was able to stop him coming out of the pocket.
Mike, let me play devil's advocate here. I mean, for me, McCullough was the only choice as MVP, but I mean, let me get your perspective and Kevin's as well. Are there any other candidates?
Well, Dorian Brew is the guy who fell on Lawrence Phillips' ankle, so that makes him pretty valuable. But no, I don't think there's any question about it. That catch, that last 3rd touchdown catch he made, Ricky Bell probably played the best coverage that anyone played the whole game, and McCullough still made the catch.
And for me, I think Brian will love this, but the group that stood out was the offensive line. Let's give them the MVP.
Yeah, an offensive line that gave up a league-high 35 sacks on the season as well. Well, I think fairly soon we're going to be hearing from Oliver Luck, who is fluent in German. Oliver Luck, the league president. He'll be making the presentation this year.
Former quarterback at West Virginia and with the Houston Oilers
Until a certain Warren Moon came along and somehow he lost his job.
Well, it's appropriate that McCullough is right next to Dick Curl and in our screen right here, because he had something to prove tonight, and 3 touchdowns later, I think he made a statement this evening of just how valuable he is to this entire team and this organization.
Well, what's Oliver Luck going to say? Is it going to be in German or in English? If it's in English, I'll shut up. If it's in German, you can translate for us, Brian.
Well, one thing about this Dick Curl-led Frankfurt Galaxy team is it is a team. And living in Frankfurt this year, being around the team, I mean, these guys got along great all year. They believed in what Dick Curl wanted to say from the very beginning, and they won all year as a team. They're really a very close and united group.
Ladies and gentlemen, NFL Europe fans, thank you for a marvelous game. Let me introduce Hartmut Geibig from Holsten Breweries.
Thank you, all friends of the American football. We saw a perfect game and we saw a galactic Düsseldorf crowd. Thank you all. Thank you, Oliver.
Und jetzt für die Trophäenübergabe, ich stelle den Bürgermeister der Stadt Frankfurt, Joachim von Dreike, vor. Herr von Dreike.
A great day for Galaxy.
You see Dick Curl there, he's trying to get the microphone.
Tag für Frankfurt.
But he's going to have to wait his turn.
99 zum letzten Mal in diesem Jahrtausend. Ihr Fans, herzlichen Dank für eure Unterstützung. Ihr habt mit der Mannschaft den Bowl gewonnen. Wir sehen uns alle morgen um 4 in Frankfurt wieder.
And there it is. The moment that says Dick Curl and his Frankfurt Galaxy are World Bowl champions for 1999.
Der wertvollste Spieler des Tages, the MVP of the game, number 18 from the Frankfurt Galaxy, Andy McCullough!
what a special moment, Brian. Brian, I know you played in the NFL for a number of years. You were a sterling offensive lineman, but you were never a Super Bowl champion. And I know that's something that's always bugged you, and there is no feeling like this, is there?
No, you know, this feeling will go with these players everywhere they go the rest of their lives, Nick. You know, Jermaine Chaney will run into Andy McCullough 15 years in a bus stop down the road, and they'll be united instantly. And Dick Curl with these players and this coaching staff, they'll always remember this. You know, and for these guys, a lot of these guys, it'll be the last professional football game they ever play. You know, but going out a winner is what you really always want to do. But there's only one winner. Right there, Alonzo Hampton. You know, a great job this year. Started every single game at that right cornerback, right there on your screen. And Pat Barnes, as the crowd sings, "We are the champions."
If we're not careful, he's going to throw that thing into the crowd.
Yeah, but you know
there with him, Craig Guest.
For a lot of these guys, they feel like this crowd and the Galaxy support they get is very responsible for their success.
There's no question about it. Dick Curl is about to speak, I believe, to our colleagues at Fox. We'll hopefully grab him later on. But good to see the players mixing with the fans, which is one of the things that makes this league special. There's no great barriers like you get in the NFL, where they're overpaid, but highly paid superstars. Here, everyone just blends in.
Hey, you know what, Nick? We talked about it this week out at practice, how everybody is so accessible. The fans out there practice, watching the players, catching the field goals at the end of practice, and running the ball back onto the field. And the media being able to get into the locker rooms and talk to the coaches, and the players, you know, being very open and enjoying the press coverage and enjoying the support of the fans. Out there in Frankfurt every day, Mario Bailey has a fan support of 100 people that come to watch him every single day.
Vince Amy holds it aloft. We saw Ralph Kleinman earlier as well, Brian, and we talked about Kleinman and the kind of pressure he was going to be under, but there was no pressure for Ralph Kleinman today. He didn't miss a kick.
And I didn't miss a kick, and he forgot about last week. And you know, the Galaxy last week lost to the Dragons, but they knew that if they still lost to Barcelona, they were still going to play. In the back of your minds, you never play your best until you have to play your best.